NAB Cup semi-final action comes to Amy Stadium in Adelaide. Two of last year's regular season finalists, Melbourne taking on Adelaide. An absolutely glorious day. Currently 28 degrees. It got to 30. Perfect conditions for footy. The Adelaide Crows here as a result of an impressive win over Hawthorn last week by 13 points. And the Demons, after being headed by Brisbane in the last quarter, prevailed by 9 points. They find their way into the semi-final. Shaped as a beauty, Dermot Brereton.
Absolutely, Gary. Both teams made it work for their wins last week. It's not as if they've coasted through to this period in the NAB Cup. They've really had to scratch out a win. And we're having a look at the Demons now, and that man there, he actually spent a fair bit of time off the ground, and, you know, they've come to win, Melbourne, and they really need this money, and they really want to have a dig at it.
They do indeed, and look, I think both coaches have been on the record of it saying that this is their ideal preparation. They both want to win the NAB Cup, and that's a good thing. Adelaide, they've been impressive for a long time now. Last season, their form was exceptional. They opened up with a 72-point belting of Port Adelaide, and that was impressive, and I reckon their coach, Neil Craig, would be pretty happy with where they're at, and he's down on the boundary with Tony Jones.
Well, Neil, semi-final of the NAB Cup. You might have raised a few eyebrows through the week. Are you that fussed with the result tonight?
Oh, we're playing to win, Tony. Make no mistake about it. All we're doing throughout the week is just stating what our policy was from at the start of the competition, and we won't deviate from that. But the team we've picked, we expect to play to win.
A grand final, what would that mean to the club at this stage, this early stage of the season?
Any time to play in a grand final is fantastic for any club, so we're no different.
All right, well, first you've got to overcome Melbourne, so we'll leave you to it.
Thanks, Tony.
Right, mate.
Neil Craig, what an exceptional job he's done with his team, Dermot.
Absolutely. He doesn't give you much across the oval. He's on a mission already. You have a look at this team. They're very well balanced between their hardcore senior champions, McLeod, Edwards and the likes, and their influx of new talent. And even when you call them inexperienced players, they still played 20 or 30 games, those types of fellas. The two I've highlighted there, Knights took his opportunity last week, was exceptional. Jericho's the one who comes from the ilk of Shirley, Matner, John Cock and Dowdy. Exceptionally talented kid, really quick, hasn't made the most of his opportunities yet, but he has all the ingredients and all the goods to be a regular senior player. And that man there, All-Australian last year, is going on to form a spine. As experienced as Adelaide are, the spine of Rutten, Bock, McGregor will be around for a long, long time. And that man, as I say, All-Australian.
It's a great story, Ben Rutten. This is the Melbourne side. They've had two good wins. They went up and played the red-hot Western Bulldogs up in Darwin. They got over the top of them, and then Brisbane Lions, as I said, headed them in the last quarter last week at the Telstra Dome, but they steadied, got their nose in front, and here they are in the semi-final of the NAB Cup. Neil Danaher, their coach, is down on the boundary with James Brayshaw.
Neil, what can we expect from the D's tonight? Big night, but not a great record at this ground.
No, but we brought a competitive team. We let Clint Bartram out. He played really well last week. We'll give Nathan Jones a go. And we got about 6 still at home, but when you're winning, it makes spots really competitive, and we're not in bad shape.
Hard to get a positive out of a big smacking, which you got here last year, but my mail is the boys have taken a bit of resolve out of that game.
Yes, but we need to get a win over here. And Crows last year in pretty good form, and we'll know by the end of the night exactly where we're at, because it's a great competition.
1989, the last time a trophy jumped in, made a bit of silverware for the D's.
Well, we might start considering that if we get over tonight, but we're coming to the game confident.
Good luck.
Good on you, JB.
Not as good as Michael Roberts, not a bad performance by James Brayshaw. Let's have a look at this Melbourne lineup. Colin Sylvia, he was exceptional last week. He's injury-free after a couple of seasons. Big, strong body, touch of Todd Viney about him with the same number. Aaron Davies' leg speed's always exciting. And Nathan Jones, the man on the bench, Dermot, had an exceptional TAC Cup season last year. Expect to see him in the middle. He's got a good, strong body for a young man, and well, they were pretty impressive. David Mead's got to get a bit of the footy, but it'll be helped enormously by this man, Travis Johnston. He kicks to space, he forces forwards to go with the footy, and that is a skill that not many players have got.
Oh, he turns an average forward into a very good one, and a very good one into a sky-high champion. But the thing that I say about if you were setting up against Melbourne, he would be your number one target. Cut him down, stop his delivery. Let's have a look at the two boys who've done very, very well in recent times.
Well, the number two would have to be Russell Robertson. He has just about put himself in the top 10 in the competition. His form over a long period of time has been great. 73 goals last season, exceptional. Not the same size as a Trent Henschel there, but they both play tall. They both can take a big grab, and Henschel's form, particularly the NAB Cup's been great.
As I say, Henschel will be looking forward to the future, forming that spine with Rutten, Bock and McGregor for quite some time to come.
We've got some excitement ahead of us, no doubt about that. Robertson will turn it on at some stage, as will Henschel. It's a semi-final of the NAB Cup. It's going to be a beauty, the best cooler in the business.
Rock band bring down a wall.
What's the fastest way to chill a bottle?
What are you doing to me? Our super is super glue.
Strong enough to lift Joe Bugner? Or a four-wheel drive?
Ah, that's Eddie's car.
Fall in love with the pranksters?
You're too old for me.
It would be my pleasure to find out.
And get ready for Sunday's best.
You won't believe your eyes.
Clever. Sunday, 6:30 on 9.
Everybody's talking about it.
We're talking super fund choice. Now you get to choose the super fund that suits you. Statewide has always exceeded industry standards, so we welcome fund choice and invite you to compare Statewide with other super funds. With Statewide, it's easy to manage your own super. Francis?
Just give us a call. We'll explain the many benefits enjoyed by Statewide members.
Statewide Superannuation Trust, your key to super you can trust.
Betty Buys City Store garage sale this weekend, 2 days only. Pay less than half on heaps of this stuff. It's all going to go. Some brand new floor stock, discontinued range, one-off, scratch and dents. 2 days only. Guys, you don't want to miss this one. This weekend at Betty Buys, we're going to put the bounce back in your bedroom.
Broken Hill, the gateway to the outback. It's unique. Broken Hill has so much to offer. Each year, the Silver City hosts Australia's most famous outback race meeting, St Pat's. The weekend kicks off with harness racing on Friday night. Then on Saturday, all roads lead to the racecourse. This is your chance to experience outback racing and hospitality at its best.
St Pat's Races, April 1st in Broken Hill. You would be a fool to miss it.
For more information, contact 1300 553 875.
Why don't you like me? I just don't.
Your deli choices roll, sir.
Daydreaming's a great way to fill in time while we freshly make the new roast beef and barbecue sauce deli choices roll.
Micran is standing up for our children's education. The results? 261 new teachers. And Labor has spent 4 times more than the Liberals to revive neglected schools.
We know there's more to be done, and with your support, we can do it. We'll introduce 10 new trade schools and we'll recruit even more teachers because it's all about our children's future.
Micran gets results.
Authorised by D. Feeney for the ALP Adelaide.
You'd be amazed at the car you can buy for under $10,000 this Saturday.
Saturday.
All these cars under $10,000.
Under 10 grand. Under 10 grand. Under 10 grand. Under 10 grand. Absolutely.
788, 788, 8888.
And all these under 10 grand?
Absolutely.
Oh.
8888, 9888, 9888, 9888. Jarvis Ford Jeps Cross. 1 day only.
Saturday only.
This long weekend, get any sofa, get any leather, and get 15% off. Get any home theatre lounge suite, get any recliner or sofa bed. You'll even get 15% off any special custom-made order. We've got 15% off everything at
The Sofa Shop.
Look, footy's back. Coach is angry.
was just when David Neitz lost the toss last week, Neil Danaher. Let's have a look. Tyson Edwards, the acting captain of the Adelaide Crows, has won the toss and will kick to the left of screen. A NAB Cup grand final spot in the offing for the winner of tonight's game. As I say, good evening for the first time to Dennis Cometti.
Hello, Gary. What did we say last week? Larry Mullen Jr., wasn't it? That working on the desk as he was, and now Larry's not coming.
Yeah, well, Larry's here. I think he's here, but he's not fronting.
Oh, well, he's seen what Neil did, and he's not, not going to front.
You've lost me with that. Let's go down to the boundary with Tony Jones. How are you, Tone?
Well, reclaim the turf after James's sterling effort there, Gary. But look, a touch of deja vu for Byron Pickett here tonight. The last time he played at AAMI Stadium was with Port Adelaide against the Adelaide Crows, and Adelaide supporters would certainly remember how he ironed out Rhett Biglan's that night. Rhett Biglan's playing tonight. Don't know if you'll remember it, but I'm quite certain the Crow supporters will.
Quite a bit, not more than he could chew on that night, Rhett Biglan's. As I say hello once again to James Brayshaw. Jim, you're down there. The ground looked to be in A1 condition.
The ground is magnificent. The conditions couldn't be better. And I've just got a sneaking suspicion that the D's have got a bit to prove here tonight, Gary.
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. It hasn't been a happy hunting ground at all, and that goes back some time. Brett Maloney back into the side. He's been missing for a week or two. He'll help as well. And a grand final spot, pretty important, I would have thought, then.
And fair to say, Gary, too, both these sides have got here to a large extent by their tackling. The tackling of both these teams has been quite outstanding so far. Watching Adelaide on tape, and they were great last week. They were really hitting hard, applying the tackles, and they were sticking a few new faces tonight. But obviously, they think at home they can get the job done. We're in the half-light now. The sun is still shining, but long shadows across the ground.
And Melbourne seem to be setting up really quite big in the forward line. 4 key position type players. Neat's out of the goal square. Miller's gone to the forward line. Paul Johnson's gone down there. And, of course, Robbo, your favourites down there as well, Dennis. So they've got 4 marking targets.
Umpires tonight, Allen, Nichols, Woodcock and Goldspink. And away we go in this NAB Cup semi-final, Melbourne and Adelaide. McDonald, first touch. Riley, first kick. Bode, the second kick inside the forward 50, and the mark is taken down there by Jericho on his chest.
Well, it's a great advantage that a forward has, and that is the ability to play in front and read the play quicker than the defender, and that's all that was. That wasn't lace out by any stretch of the imagination, but he had the front position. Young Johnson there followed him in. Should be Adelaide's first goal.
Reflexes. Honed, and Jericho found the footy. Can he kick truly? 35 metres out for 6 points to start proceedings. He gets the goal.
Well, Doom, you highlighted Luke Jericho before the game. You said he's one of those players that perhaps needs to take his game to another level. Nice start.
Oh, beautiful start. I mean, you can't bank a game or a career on that type of thing. That's a bit of luck, but gee, when it falls your way, you've got to make the most of it. He's got to look to be doing the right things now, get into the right spot, leading up the ground correctly. Gary Ayres, he was at the club when Jericho came, and he said this kid is an amazing athlete. He's about the 6'1", 6'2" mark, and he is as quick as they come, like sort of trialled out at state junior level, state champion 400-metre runner. So he's that sort of ilk.
Blistering start for Adelaide. Back in the centre, J. Marr stands his ground and then wraps up Riley in a very, very strong tackle because he's a very, very strong man. We'll do it again.
Graham John Cock has got the job on Aaron Davies, so that'll be a great contest. And Chris Massey, surprise choice for Russell Robertson.
Biglan's, well done. Adelaide with another clearance, another forward 50 entry and another mark not paid. Around the body goes Burton, around the body, and it bounces through. Awesome start for the home side, 2 in a row.
Radio Rentals will help you beat the heat and beat any price on air conditioning. Get your skates on and come and see all the big brands at Radio Rentals. Like LG, Electrolux, Kelvinator, Panasonic, Hitachi, Fujitsu and Mitsubishi. With a range of systems to suit any home. We're even big inducted. And with a cool 12, 24, 36, 48 or 60 months interest free at SA's biggest electrical retailer, you'd be mad to shop anywhere else.
We have some weirdness here, a sense of deja vu. Last week, Adelaide 18 possessions before Hawthorn got one and 3 goals. And now, no possessions for Melbourne. The mix is right. They're doing something correctly. As if on cue, Jamar down inside the 50. Trying to knock it on was Miller. He was held. He's going to get the free kick about 45 metres out.
Once again, a good example of a forward just taking front position. Doesn't have to get in there perfectly. Stand your ground. win a free kick. Now, really, this is an important kick, isn't it, for Miller? I mean, they got away to a flyer, Adelaide. It's inside 50. Should kick the goal.
Gets the hand pass away. The long kick comes from Green, trying for 9 points. In the square, no contest. Biglands comes up, takes the mark. Nobody stands the mark. Drives it outside the 50. Well-weighted kick from behind Miller. Knocked it away from McGregor. Found it just inside the boundary line. Goes again. Green on his knees. Uze from left half forward. Tumbles it inside the forward 50. Shirley falling to the ground. Knights did well with Rutten. Comes away. John Cox got it now. Riley at centre half back. Sends it high towards the wing. Burton at 360. Will get the crumb. Well played. He's a bit giddy. Gets a hand pass away. Riley to no one in particular. Johnston could have been bumped in the back. And I think he'll get the free kick at centre half back. He will.
2 great crumbs for Brett Burton so far.
Travis Johnston looks to the outer side of the ground and goes there. Kick needs to be good. In the end, it had to be a defensive fist from the back. Uze around the body nicely. Gets it to Bate. He goes high inside the forward 50. Johnson in the best position. Gets hands to it. Can't take it. On the ground, can he pick it up? He's got the runner in Davey. Around the body he goes. High to the square. 2-on-1 situation. Well done, the Adelaide defence. I think it was Van Berlo who got a very nice fist in there to break it up, and the first score for the Demons.
If you were built like Paul Johnson, that's probably the one place you wouldn't want the ball to be, rolling away from you below the knees.
Edwards. Rutten missed it. Well, it missed him. Johnson a hand pass. Bate. He's on the wing. High ball towards half forward. Neats from behind. Falls in front. Hart approaching a milestone. Gets it away. Biglands with some dash if you don't mind. Shirley flat-footed. Time to settle and come away. Kicks it towards half forward. Perry nicely worked. He's a willing worker. Edwards has it now. Looks back towards the middle. Thompson had it knocked away by Johnston. Opportunity at the back. Sylvia. The hand pass, a slow one, got to McDonald, to Bate, in trouble, taken down by a couple of them, saved by the umpire. Umpire Allen saw him taken high.
Bate, backward of the centre wing. That's the high contact Dennis was referring to. Inboard he goes. And McDonald has it at centre half back. Wheatley offers some run to the outer side. Pinpoints Green and gets it to him on the wing. Stagnant footy at the moment from the D's. Green can load up. He's got Miller on short. Goes longer to Robertson. He's got a couple to beat. Might have been edged out of the contest. No free. Numbers still with Adelaide. Melbourne finding it hard across half forward at the moment. Big tackle on Massey. Brought to ground, and there will be a ball up.
Very good at getting numbers back. Adelaide into their back half. Really denying forward space. It's something the Doom's got to work on.
Jamar knocks it down. Matner in trouble. Thompson running out of space. Kept his head. Massey. Thompson hard against the boundary line now. Up shy of the wing. Good judgment shown. Well, Carroll. He was told to play on. I thought he marked it. Kicks inside. Well, just outside the 50 actually. McDonald's taken the mark. Plays on. Will kick from about 55 directly into Riley coming at him. McDonald gives a hand pass away to Green, who's 55 metres out. He gets more distance on this kick for Melbourne. Punched away by Hart. Chance for Motlop. He's in the pocket. Centres it. Oh, beautiful kick. Spotted Johnson lurking at the back and got the footy to him. It's only about 5 metres out, but the angle is tricky.
Did pull that kick. Deliberate kick to Johnson then.
Got low and hard too, Doom. So got there quick, didn't give anyone a chance to get there for the spoil. Just got to think his way through here. He's very close to goal.
What did Robbo call him? Hightower. Comes around and pops it through.
Sometimes, to get what you want, you need some words of experience. Which is where we come in. So what is it you want?
Johnson kicks the Demons first. Equal scoring shots, and after an early Adelaide flurry, Melbourne have just settled down a little. Maloney Claimed in a tackle. Edwards, as always, beautiful below his knees. Handball forward. Knights spun out of there, kicks it high inside the forward 50. Perry went with the chest when perhaps the Jukes were in order. Gets it now and he's in real trouble. Gone holding the footy. And Whelan will bring it away. They can rebuild from the back. Sylvia, a handball off. Uze measures the kick towards Johnston on the wing. Has got time and will need it all. Left foot ball, beautiful.
How good is he, Johnston? His ability to come back inside, sets all this stuff up.
Motlop, high ball forward, and the big fella J-Mar's just got to sit under it. Couldn't take the mark, but gets the dish off to Bate. Handball backwards. Melbourne regroup again. Motlop or Maloney. Maloney on the bounce, and it's too strong.
Great effort.
And Shirley can take it away.
Go, Jim.
Edwards gets the handball. Comes back towards the middle. Was that forward? No. Play on is the call. Knights to half forward. Working in front down there is Henshaw, but it's going against him. Carroll will get the free kick. Told to play on. Hand passes about 15 metres. Uze wants his left side. Split the difference. Went through the middle. Carroll assisting. Now Jones, forward of right half back. Kicks it beyond the wing from behind. Marriage was up. Hands to it. Spilt it. Knights camped in front. Been in splendid form. Edwards over the top. Shirley. Now McLeod. Inside the centre square, turns the defence around. Well done, Ferguson. Going back, got a fist to it. In comes Burton, gets his second goal.
Some people still sell computers and laptops that are plain old technology. But at A&R, you get more speed, more reliability, more value for your dollar. Like this beauty with plenty of oomph, CD and DVD burner, internet, windows and more for $8.99. As for laptops, yeah, we got them. What do you want? This Asus, fully decked out and great performance for an amazing $16.99 at A&R.
Brett Burton gets his second of the night. Lots of talk about him in the press today, making a statement about his career, Derm, and where he's got to go as a footballer. It's his time, he reckons.
Well, he said, just got to seize everything that comes his way now. There's a few blokes pushing up, making life tough for him.
Like this man, Riley, inside the forward 50 he goes. Ball too strong for Jericho at the back. Henschel turns on goal and is pulled it too far. Not a bad result for Adelaide in the end. Across the line of boundary throwing.
Very impressive thing about this Adelaide forward line is that they all present to the footy really well. They don't rely on just big grabs or running people under the ball. They present.
Marriage at the back, work to the front. Again, Burton dangerous. Again, very dangerous. Should have done better, perhaps. And the first blemish on the Adelaide scorecard.
Well, he's the man at the minute that is providing Paul Wheatley with all sorts of problems, Brett Burton. His mobility and agility to get around the footy. It's just giving him a few headaches.
Paul Wheatley to bring it in. The margin 11 points. Was it 12? It's 12 according to us. Nicholson out of the back pocket. Bate up in front, almost hung on. Perry stood his ground in front. Into the path of Maloney at close quarters. Whelan under pressure, taking a full revolution. Knights. Perry once more dishes it off. This time to Matner. Upended as he kicked. Well inside the forward 50. Coming hard. Henschel split the pack, but all demons around.
Nothing out here at all.
Uze. He doesn't have his right side anyway. Just pops it across to White.
That is a classic example then. They've got four key forwards. One of them has to be a lead-up player, much in the mould of Ryan O'Keefe at Sydney. That's the target player for that kick you described then.
Jeff White kicked it up to the wing, and Sylvia, who goes down towards right half forward. McGregor heads for the boundary line and finds it. So White is on the ground. Pretty rusty last week, but obviously a key component in this Melbourne side for season 2006. He'll ruck here. Opposed to the youngster in Marriage. The ruckman touched the ball, something of an anticlimax. Knights got it from Edwards, boots it up towards the wing. Burton launched himself, falls behind to Johnson, straight into McLeod, comes back to Green. There's a push in the back wheel and we'll get the free.
And he'll get the handball away to Uze. Low ball from that player, ill-directed. The Adelaide defence working very nicely. Just the numbers at the footy. Knights was dispossessed, and now Melbourne can get their way back into the contest. A locked-up ball would be a good result for them in the centre of Amy Stadium. think Den ran through them earlier. Alan Nichols, Woodcock and Goldspink. Bate has had a nice start to this game. Not quite clean with the hands on that occasion. Motlop went without it. Maloney stuck his head over it. Bate involved again. Scramble of players and Motlop brings it away. Forward handball, Reid. Centre half forward. Missed with the handball attempt to Jones. And now the cavalry can arrive for Adelaide. John Cock, handball away. Thompson, the former Demon, couldn't handle it. It's a hot footy at centre half forward. Trying to plough through Mattner, unable to. McLeod with a little tunnel ball. Davey got it away. Maloney can reload. Low to centre half forward. 1-on-2 situation here. It has to be perfect for Robertson. It is. He picks it up around the body to the top of the square. Numbers here for Adelaide again. Well done, Rutten. Hands not great for McGregor. Miller tried to go off the ground. It's frenetic stuff. And I think the umpire's going to say, give it to me.
About 30 seconds ago, you saw that pace I described of Jericho when he ran down Philip Reid coming out of the centre square.
Robbo goes high. There's a whistle, and it's going to be a Melbourne free kick. And it's going to Jamar. Or is it Johnson? Johnson's getting it.
They're blocked out in the ruck contest. That's the call. Well, Russell Robinson was the third jumper, so I think the young man Marriage just went to Johnson and thought, well, I'll just stand you close. Now he almost the exact position, probably less of an angle.
But he made no attempt at the ball.
No, but a wonderful jump it was from Robbo. Meantime, Johnson comes in and steers it straight through the middle. Melbourne get their second.
Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing.
You know that Metropolitan Plumbing can fix leaking taps, block drains and hot water heaters within the hour.
But there's no hot water!
Leaking hot water heaters can be replaced in all areas 7 days a week, and that includes Saturday and Sunday. And interest-free terms are available.
Metropolitan Plumbing.
On the 14.
Johnson's kicked a couple for the Demons. Burton has a couple for Adelaide. We're back in the centre. High leap from White. Gets it down nicely. Jones with the left foot kick to half forward. Bate in front of the footy. Reid behind it. Ended up with it. The handball ill-directed. And Van Berlo can walk through with it. Mattner. Lovely handball forward. High ball now for Adelaide to half forward. That came from Douglas, the first gamer. It's broken up now across halfback for the Demons by Johnson. And here's low left foot ball, just misses Bate. Bode, as always, very committed to the footy. No free kick, the Adelaide fans want one. Burton around the body's going to work to Perry this time. Gary to Jukes. And the handball away to Jericho inside the forward 50, but that's broken up and Carroll gets it to Uze.
Ninth possession for Adam Uze.
Left half back towards the wing. Well done by Jeff White. Came across on the angle, took the strong mark. Releases Bate. Seen that a few times tonight.
3 times they've kicked in the man on the mark.
Which is all about Adelaide's way of playing footy, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon their defensive work's been great in the opening quarter here. Their willingness to push back and help each other out in the back half, it just makes life so much easier for defenders.
White in front. Suddenly it seems his confidence may be on the rise, taken by Davey. Bate goes back, and that's a good mark. Quite a bit of courage there. They were coming up behind him. And he opened himself up, reaching back like that. 19 plays 13. Adelaide getting the quick start. A centering kick. Not good. Knights.
It's a horrible decision from the young man there. A lot of traffic. Go to the top of the square.
Clever kick into the path of Van Berlo inside the centre square. Couldn't beat Green though. Green played it well, knocked it away. Burton, who's been on fire, tracks it out towards the wing. Wheels around. Looks across the ground, and that's an intelligent kick. And he finds Vince. Vince on the line of the centre square, down towards centre half forward. Just kicks a 3-quarter kick towards Perry. That is the spot to be. Thompson in front, and he kicks the goal. Well worked, Adelaide.
Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing.
Just a quick reminder that Metropolitan Plumbing can fix leaking taps, block drains, plus hot water repairs and replacement within the hour. All areas, 24 hours, 7 days. Yes, 7 days a week.
Metropolitan Plumbing.
The Crows playing very nice football at Amy Stadium, and they're out to a handy break in the first term. A free kick's going to go Jeff White's way. Davey was a little ambitious trying to steal the ball. The umpire Goldspink letting him know that there was no chance of him getting it. Good kick from White. Gets it to Miller. Handball to Johnston. Johnston outside the 50. Loads up the high ball. Johnson in the square. Robertson goes back. And all day long, that was his footy.
Well, there's an example of Travis Johnston almost dictating what happens here. He had a long option there, and what Russell Robertson was able to do was turn his defender around and run back. Johnston's kick is what sets it up. Robertson reacts, leaves his defender behind. Johnson, the other Johnson, does great body work on Ben Hart.
He had him done as well.
Yeah, beautiful.
But also, Van Berlo is responsible for Travis Johnson. He stood on the mark in the middle of the ground, and that let Trav run forward.
Robertson kicks the goal. Melbourne answer. One of those players, Gary, that, to quote the old North England saying, puts bums on seats.
Oh, he's a beauty. He's had exceptional couple of years, Russell Robertson, and he plays out of his weight division, but he's such a strong character. But this setup would please Neil Danaher no end.
Van Berlo is still running to him from the centre circle. If you were Nathan Van Berlo, Travis Johnson is the most dangerous player, you'd be screaming at your teammates, where's my cover? I'm standing on the mark for a free kick given away by you blokes, and you let the most dangerous midfielder run off by himself.
It looks like a Keno page, but the bottom line is 25 plays 19. Bounce back in the middle. Getting very high there was J. Marr, but he's given away a free kick. And it's going to Clark. And he is a crowd favourite, and they were happy with the free as well. He kicks it down towards half forward. Now Thompson spots Bode, but kicks it behind him. Left behind though by Johnston. Picked up by Jericho. Runs inside the 50. He was on the line as he kicked. Doesn't matter, it's still a live football. Carroll's got it. Vince has got him. Kicks tumbling out towards the 50-metre defensive line, but Wiley will send it back in. Sweeping hand pass. Burton still outside the 50. Yes, that's a tactical blue. Davey got him down. Doughty's hand pass made it difficult for Clark. Found it on the deck. Doughty, little chip inside the 50. Van Berlo at the base. Over the top, Johnston. Whelan trying to find a path. Vince at close quarters. Wiley. Van Berlo under pressure from the 50. Have a look bounce. Awkwardly for all and sundry down there. How will the official call this?
It was a fumble. It was a legitimate fumble.
It's an arbitrary call.
Good decision.
It was a
very
legitimate
good
one.
decision.
Yeah.
McDonald on the outer side.
Oh,
Davey just kicks it up for grabs, and he's got to really make some ground. Did well. Johnston allowed Perry a run at the footy. Davey got back into the contest beautifully. Steps out of it. Now he's claimed. The little handball was good from Doughty, and the Crows are away. Burton had a ripping start to this game. Low and effective to Henschel. Too far out to score, you'd think.
Just got to take his time.
McLeod.
Oh, yes, great decision.
Snuck in front.
Now, how does the rule operate? Because that kick seemed to come backwards, yet it ended up inside forward 50, and it was kicked from outside 50 in the current state of rules.
Don't come to me about the rules.
About to say, we rely on you.
Well, you're the wisest of the three monkeys up here.
No, I'm not.
Play on,
caught in a time warp.
McLeod. Shot on goal from long range is there. We'll sort out the argument, but at the moment, Adelaide are on top.
That's contentious. That is contentious, that one.
We'll have another look at it, I reckon. I think you've got to be inside forward 50 before you can kick backwards.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it was backwards. That's probably the bottom line.
We'll get a good depiction from the grass cut.
No, we'll get another look at that.
We will, from side on, mate.
It was a great kick.
Yeah, it was a beautiful kick.
It wasn't 9 points because the mark was taken well inside the forward 50, but as to whether or not it went backwards, have a look at the wheels.
You can wear any wheels you want if you're Andy McLeod.
Yes.
There you go.
Forward.
Okay, there you go. See, he's kicked from just inside the light green. That's backwards.
Forward. Backwards.
That is a backwards pass.
Forward. Well, it's forward because it's coming towards the camera. I see what you're saying. You're trying to get that technicality.
Well, so they're cutting the grass skew-if, are they?
I'm with you, Durham. And that worries the hell out of me.
Okay, watch where he kicks it from. He's on the light green.
Yeah.
Now those, we can tell you, the cut of the grass is directly straight across the ground. Now
backwards.
That's gone backwards.
Changed.
Pickett.
but he wasn't in 50.
McLeod in the blue boots. Inside the centre square, pops it just beyond the wing. Jericho is up, couldn't hang on. Here's young Douglas on debut towards half forward. Good kick too. Found the target, Perry. He's about 60 metres from goal. Henschel to the pocket. Perry goes longer towards full forward. About 20 metres out, they compete off hands. Henschel dragged down, goes to Bow. Quick hands away. Then Burlow across the body. Biglands runs on, kicks the goal.
Well, again, you've got to pay so much credit to this forward line is because they work hard, they do the discipline thing, bring the ball to the front, they get quality crumb here. This time it's Henschel, the full forward who gets the crumbs. Beautiful hand from Bode. And they keep working. They don't stand around and spectate once the footy leaves their area. They either get back to the goals or they push out and make space for each other. But they're crumbing. The crumbing of Burton and also Henschel on that occasion. The ability of Perry and these blokes to really give a contest and control at the front's great. Now, that would be
Johnson.
Chris Johnson, the son of Alan, on the boundary.
38 plays 19. The home side doing what they normally do against the Demons, and that is dominating a horrible record at this ground, the Melbourne Footy Club. And at the moment, it's not going their way, but it's very early stages. Nicely done, Adelaide again from half-back. Thompson to Edwards. Makes good of the half volley. You'll get it back, Thompson. Give it to McLeod, so important to this outfit. To Doughty, inside the 50. Henschel, nice fist away there from Wheatley. And across the line of boundary throwing.
Yeah, they're using a lot of handball through the middle of the ground. Adelaide very confident with their hands. Predominantly a long kicking team, embodied by Mark Rasciuto over the years. Thumps everything long, but not out there tonight.
Boundary umpire comes in, 25 metres, tosses it in. Clark reaches over the top of Jamar, knocked it down, fell on the footy. Edwards has it. Now Bate at close quarters. Pickett kicks it up towards the wing. Miller's in front, clever by McGregor. They do the team thing so often. Johncock comes away. Penetrating kick inside the forward 50, and the mark is held by Biglands. Tony Jones has a word for us on the boundary.
Thanks, Dennis. Yes, Chris Johnson, the medico, still having a look at that right knee there. He's in a bit of distress, the young fella, and you might just see the incident here, and it looks like a bit of a jar there, but what they're testing for at the moment is any structural damage. So we'll have an update for you at quarter time.
He was very good last week. Chris Johnson, there goes the kick from Biglands, sliding it across the face. They compete a couple of metres out, and the ball is pushed across the line. Now, I can tell you I've been doing some research this week. Prior to the semi-finals last season, 29 super goals, 28 the year before. So far this year, just 20. We'll get to my theory in the last quarter.
Oh, I can't wait.
Have a forward 50 entry here, perhaps Adelaide. Dying moments over the top. Thompson good. Perry outside the 50 to the veteran Ben Hart. That's a beautiful kick. Gets it to Bode, measures the situation, hurried it. Didn't need to. He had the seconds available to him. Pulled the kick just to behind.
50 handballs up for Adelaide, so they're really keeping it in close and confident to use it by hand.
Let off the hook a bit, Melbourne, in the last couple of minutes. A couple of very gettable goals.
Wheatley to Carroll. He's in the back pocket. Melbourne with some work to do. They trail by 21 points.
That is a ripper, isn't it?
It's quarter time in the semi-final of the NAB Cup from Amy Stadium. Adelaide getting the fast start and finish to that term. They lead 6 goals. That's 6 6-pointers and 4 points for 40, as opposed to, oh, you know, you can see it. 40 plays 19. We'll be back shortly.
National 9 News Update, brought to you by the all-new Nissan Tida. It makes you feel really, really, really good inside.
Good evening. A man has been given bail after being charged with attempting to murder his girlfriend by running her down on Goodwood Road early this morning. Kim McGuinness faced court this afternoon, accused of driving into 21-year-old June Clayton after she left the Goodwood Park Hotel. It's a critical weekend in election countdown, with Mike Rann and Rob Kerrin staging their formal campaign launches on Sunday. And Port and Brisbane will use 10-man benches in tomorrow afternoon's practice match at Amy Stadium. They'll need them. It's going to be 37. Local? Yeah, we're local.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. More.
The all-new Nissan Tita makes you feel really, really, really good inside.
Nick Scali Furniture's lounge clearance is on now, with genuine savings on all floor stock, discontinued and most regular lines. Many available for immediate delivery. Nick Scali's lounge clearance on now for a short time only at all Nick Scali Furniture stores.
The headline said, Libs to axe 4,000 public sector jobs. Jobs like hospital staff, youth workers, genetic counsellors, correctional officers, disability services, and thousands more. Imagine our community without them. We'll all be worse off.
Authorised by Jan McMahon for the Public Service Association, Adelaide.
Amazing! Luxury quilt cover sets for $20. 20. Some were $100. This weekend, 20. And look at this, 30. We're $150, tomorrow, 30. We're throwing out last year's stuff regardless of price. Save to 75%. Plain dyed Pacale sheet sets, 20. We're $100. Mainly Queens and Kings, 20. $100 duck down pillows, 20. Summer quilts, 20. $30 bath towels, 10. We're throwing out last year's stuff. Save to 75%.
This weekend.
Want a unique experience? How's this?
Shutters, gutters, roofing, rendering, carports and verandas all 25% off.
Every product, a minimum 25% off.
But only with this gold card, there's just 300.
So call the Gotta Get a Group now.
Bigger, brighter, better. The newly renovated Harvey Norman factory clearance outlet. Save heaps on our ever-changing range of scoop electrical buys. Big brands at low prices. Check us out today. Harvey Norman's factory clearance outlet in the Big Blue Building, South Road, Mile End.
Reduce the total of your docket with this week's Buy Low specials.
Coca-Cola soft drink 24 can pack, $11.48 each, saves $7.18 each. Softex Elite toilet tissue 9 pack, $2.49 each.
Buy Low.
Why pay more?
Yes!
Monday, on the set of CSI.
What? This is an amazing set.
Join Grissom's personal tour of the TV blockbuster. The Truth. Your exclusive sneak peek behind the scenes Monday on A Current Affair.
The Adelaide Crows have taken a sizable step, you'd think, towards a place in the NAB Cup Grand Final. It is early days still, but 21 points to margin. They were very impressive, dangerous every time they went forward. Debate has raged, it's got to be said, in the commentary box over the quarter-time break about whether or not you can go backwards inside your forward 50 but still be in the forward 50.
From outside.
Dennis has had to go, Dermot's had to go. James Brayshaw, please.
Oh, well, while you two buffoons at the end of the box were waxing lyrical, Den and I put our collective thoughts together and we have realised that doesn't matter where you kick the ball from, if you kick it and it ends up inside the 50, you've got to be closer to goal and therefore it's a forward kick.
Oh, so you can actually be outside 50 and kick with the contour. And,
exactly right.
Yeah, and then it won't be play on if you slightly kick backwards.
If it's inside the 50, so it's closer to goal.
We're talking about the contour of the 50 now, are we?
Absolutely clear.
We got
using it.
From Rowan Saws as well, so it wasn't just the two of us.
You were trying to neutralise me before by including me with you. But I will not be neutralised.
The wash-up is you can go backwards but still be closer.
I have never seen that written in the rules, closer to goal.
Well, that's
closer to goal, where does that appear?
From Rowan Sawyers, the head of the umpiring.
That's materialised tonight.
Tony Jones has been on the job down there as well. How are you, Tone?
Yeah, thanks. I think you cleared that up very well, fellas. Look, Neil Danaher absolutely filthy at that quarter-time break.
Yeah.
There he is there. What he's saying is, and I'll clean it up, very, very ordinary effort around the ball. He said once Adelaide get their hands on it, they can virtually do as they please. He said Nathan Carroll being the exception. He also went on to say that, look, fellas, we came over here to make a contest of it, so let's do just that. Now, the Adelaide Crows, they went on the other side of the ground. Have a look at that. That's not caged lions in there. That's an evaporative air cooler. They've plugged it in. They all walked over there. I might add, it is sweltering, 21 degrees at the moment, an overnight low of 17.
Thank you, Tone.
There's a 7-3-7 going one short somewhere.
21-point lead as we start the second term. It's hooked back in the direction of McDonald. Went the body rather than the ball. McLeod got it. Riley ended up with it. High ball. Good luck marking that inside the forward 50. Stuck out in front, though. Fist away. Numbers here with the D's defence. Wheatley overran it. Well done, Jericho, to get back into the contest. Now he's wrapped up and taken high. Local fans of the impression that they got a bad rub from the umpires in the first term. High from Jericho. Looking for Perry. Free kick anyway.
Against Pickett, I reckon. I think you'll find that Byron Pickett didn't have eyes on the foot. He just tried to keep someone from getting a run at the ball. You've got to be very subtle if you're going to do that.
You've got to put your hands up and feign you're going for the ball.
I'm not sure it was all that subtle.
2-7, the free kick count prior to that one. So maybe the Adelaide fans have got a point. But here is Brett Burton to kick his third and bounce the Crows away to a 27-point lead. Should kick it and does.
Radio Rentals will help you beat the heat and beat any price on air conditioning. Get your skates on and come and see all the big brands at Radio Rentals. Like LG, Electrolux, Kelvinator, Panasonic, Hitachi, Fujitsu and Mitsubishi. With a range of systems to suit any home. We're even big inducted. And with a cool 12, 24, 36, 48 or 60 months interest free at SA's biggest electrical retailer, you'd be mad to shop anywhere else.
Watch that free again.
Nathan Pickett. Byron Pickett, number 33 there at the bottom of the screen. No eyes, just cut Brett Burton off. Good decision. Third goal to Burton.
He's having a great game.
Having a great pre-season so far. 46 plays 19. This one getting away from the D's. White goes up, knocks it down. Riley with the outside of the boot, kicks it up towards half forward. Hacked out of there by Whelan. Through the centre square. Henschel worked off the line of the football. Well done by Miller. He was taken high. No free kick. Taken high by a teammate too. Sylvia came in and just whacked him around the scone once or twice, but the football stayed beneath. And he's penalised. Henschel kicks towards half forward. Well, that's almost a clever mark to Uze. He was very conscious of Burton. Burton tries to flick it out. Succeeded. Matner, McLeod takes on the would-be tackler. That would be interesting. Johnston and McLeod. Burton's got it again. They're going away from goal. Matner, the short pass, did nicely. Marriage. Midway between centre wing and half forward. Just a chip inside the forward 50. Spills in front. Knights. Like the looks of him. Back to Matner. Digs it in, goes hard. Smothered by Maloney. Ricochets to the 50. Throwing himself in down there was Maloney. John Copp. Johnson. Big pile on the football. 50 metres out. We'll have a ball up.
Just looks out of touch, Brent Maloney. Hasn't had a great deal of footy in the lead up to this semi-final. So just double grabbing it a few in the first quarter.
White knocked it down. Stolen away by Whelan. Johnston, now Green, spots Davey, just slipping his marker. He's taken this mark right on the wing. Occupying the mark was Hart. The kick goes down towards left half forward. Johnson has it now.
Kicked a couple of goals in the first term. High left foot ball to the top of the square. Robertson's got a double back. He's got lots to beat. Footy on the ground. No one knows where it is. Big pack of players around it. Van Berlo got it to Rutten. Good player. And he gets it to another good player in John Cock. Inboard.
Working it much harder, the Adelaide Crows. Their midfield push hard to support and defence. Then they win numbers around the footy, so they're able to share it. When they go forward, the movement is first rate.
Matner back to Rutten. Say he's an emerging fullback term. He's probably emerged now. Ben Rutten, just a quality setup.
No doubt about that. He's still of an age where you would normally be expecting him to still be, as you call it, emerging.
This man emerged a long time ago. Dual premiership player and a magnificent servant of the Adelaide Footy Club, Tyson Edwards. Doubles back. Goes to Perry. That wasn't worked as well as it perhaps could have been. The fist away was good from the mustachioed Carroll, and the ball will be thrown in.
He's actually going all right, Carroll. He's made a few good spoils. He's got some contested footy to his credit so far.
Well, Tony told us the coach liked him in the first term. He's working hard down there, but most of the defence have seen a fair bit of the footy, one way or another. Riley under pressure, works it forward. It bounces close to the boundary. Here he is, distinctive. From the wing, down towards left half forward, hangs a long time in the air. Neitz and Rutten both missed it. John Cock charges in, well played. Bounces off a would-be tackler, got it away to Marriage. Edwards, now Hart. Yes, running up from defence, this is Massey. Inside the centre square, good kick too. On the lead, Biglands, full-chested, wheels around. Burton wants it long. Well, he tried to oblige. Not his best effort. And Carroll drifts in to take the mark.
Right up until then, it was copybook, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Numbers in defence, runners everywhere, hitting up targets.
Just thinking too, Gary, there are not many teams in the comp who could stand up to that form of play.
Well, the umpire, 50. Just a kick from Biglands going the other way moments ago. That was the only problem. The idea was right. Going back at 45 degrees and running hard, Burton to the square. Now Green, about 75 metres out, kicks inside the 50. Going back, the mark is juggled by Neitz. That was a gutsy mark.
Yeah, he hasn't been the best at Nick. He takes a little bit of time, but that's all he needs. He's a couple of one-out contests. He just hasn't had any room down there in the forward half, and this was kicked to the preferred side. He's a big, strong body. Nice nudge. Now, if he kicks the goal, you might say that he might be in for a bit of a better night. If he misses, it'll be a long night.
39 goals last season, including just the one against Adelaide. Round 7.
A long night.
Extremely long.
He looks like a fast bowler at the start of a long tour, Nita. He just looks like he needs a bit of work under his belt.
He does. He needs a couple of good nets, I think.
Well, he's asking the directions to the nets at the moment.
Thompson. He will go to Tyson Edwards. Short ball, effective. Henschel further afield will get it now. Lots of talent in this package. High ball down the line. Burton, if he can get to it, can have a fly. Carried him. Free kick, going to go Melbourne's way. Not going to matter because Sylvia's got it. And he can break long. This is a good kick. Johnson has taken a couple, but he just sort of wheeled around and got lost in the process. Footy over the line.
Just that ball at half-back for the Adelaide Crows. They line up down the middle of the ground, which allows them all to break really hard to the boundary. A lot of space for them to lead into as we have a look at their bench.
Melbourne need a goal. Work down. Jones tried to step on through. Always going to struggle to do that. McLeod, so often where the footy is. Over the top to the run of Perry. Got it in the centre of the ground. The handball off's good. High ball from Thompson. One out, Jericho caught behind, has to fist away at the ground. Biglands can go off the ground, but a free kick's been picked out. It's going Adelaide's way.
I think it's Jericho, isn't it?
You're taking his jumper.
I think it's Jericho. He doesn't even know he's got the free kick.
What they did on that occasion, they had all their numbers up the ground, and when they won possession through the middle, as we have a look at the free here.
No, I think that Biglands has got it.
It's not on.
Just the little tug of the jumper. Wouldn't have even felt it, Rhett Biglands. The umpire's totally side onto it and sees the jumper outstretched.
Has one in the first term. From about 45 out, drop punt on the way. The crowd noise will tell the story. It's hit the post and gone through for a behind.
But once again, they were up the ground. They really squeeze up opposition forward lines, and then when they go, they break. Just a little finger grab there.
He's dragging Nick over long.
Like a skier.
There's Uze, half back towards the wing. Jamar takes the mark in front of Clark. Melbourne need a spark here. Can he provide it? 47 plays 19. The winner into the grand final. Come on, says the umpire. Jamar, very high kick. It floats towards half forward. Johnson, a big leap down there. Jones, the crumb, hard against the boundary line. Pulls it back inside the 50. Robbo. Well, he flung himself forward. It spilled out, but umpire Allen has decided it was a mark.
No, I don't think he's going to...
Taking it off him?
I think he's going to take it back and bounce it.
He wouldn't dare, would he?
Let's have a listen. Hang on, let's have a listen.
And you're falling away from me, I couldn't see.
Oh, he's owned up to a mistake. Who says an umpire doesn't change his decision?
Yeah, but it was Robbo. Clark knocks it down, taken by Knights. Floats one close to the boundary line. Back goes Miller, kept his eye on the football and knocks it out.
Well, once he's given the decision, you can't then say, I didn't see, because how did he know then he didn't mark it?
He might have been told by another umpire. What's wrong with that?
I think change your mind halfway through.
There's something strange about that part on the ground over there. That's the Bermuda Triangle. We had that kick that went backwards, forwards, and now we've had a mark spill. It was a mark, not paid.
Byron's kick tumbles inside the forward 50. Neats has a run at it, belts into a couple. John Cock picks it up.
No, they're away.
And McLeod again in space. How does he get that far away from an opposition player? Over the top beautifully to Matner. Breaking with the raking left boot. Now he's been corralled by Byron. Back to Bode. Good kick to centre half forward. Burton in some space.
Look at the holes here in their forward line.
Jericho can run back. Perry can run back. Jericho can take a leap at it. Big fly from the back. Crumbs his own ball. Tries to get a handball away. The Sarge. Perry gets it to Burton. Left foot snap. Misses to the left.
Well, once again, they go and they go hard when they win possession of the footy. They're backing their athleticism in.
56, handball receives, hasn't kicked it, he's over.
That was like the road runner coming to the edge of the cliff.
You've got to kick it, you've run out of the
square. He slowed down, but he couldn't stop.
You went to kick it in, you're out of the square. So it doesn't matter, you've run out of the square. You can't go out and come back.
Watch our defence here, Durham. I was tracking the other footy. There was two footies there. Knocked across the line. That's
three-pointer. Is that not deliberate?
I would have thought so, but then again, watch this.
No, he doesn't kick it, but it was an intended kick. That's where but he didn't attempt to kick it, but it was an intended kick. Can you discriminate between those two lines?
How come the last one? Gary's right this time. It hurts me to say this. It pains me to say it. But how come that wasn't 3 points?
Yeah, thank you very much.
It was a hit
spot on.
Let's go.
Oh, hit out.
Play on.
There's Whelan. Someone will go to the grand final. We hope they deserve it. Up towards the wing. Clark knocks it down. Davey. And the hand pass goes across the boundary line. It's a very arbitrary call, though, on occasions, isn't it? Will you grant me that?
Yeah, I do, indeed.
That's a wonderful thing about our sport. There's no offside rule. Everybody's milling around. It's up to the discretion of a human being to just make the call as they see it.
Don't rule offside out, though.
Yeah.
Could be next year. Matner, Davey, gets it away. Motlop under pressure.
Tackle.
The involuntary action tried to bring the boot up. It did not come up. Matner gets a hand pass away, releasing McLeod into space. 52 metres out, goes long and gets a 9-pointer. Just what Melbourne did not need.
Sometimes, to get what you want, you need some words of experience, which is where we come in. So what is it you want?
Andrew McLeod, Gary.
The Darwin Buffaloes, not the Darwin Buffaloes.
I reckon Geelong would like him too.
The Darwin Buffaloes have put 1,000 in their bank, and he's on a rampage. Andrew McLeod.
Make a great point that Byron Pickett cannot run with him. McLeod's pushing up to be a fifth midfielder, and Byron's trying to pick him off on the way through.
Scrambling ball, middle of the ground. John Cock's been very good. Tracks the footy back. Eyes always for it, and when he gets it, controls the situation beautifully. Matthew Clark claimed high. Wide to Shirley. Here's McLeod again. He's got his own footy out there at the moment. That kick's a little strong.
Well, Pickett's over the other side of the ground. He might get this ball in actual fact, but that's how far away from Andrew McLeod he is.
Hang time.
Ball set.
That's 50.
Long time, and that is 50.
Now, Brett Burton is such a good player. He's having a great night. But he's prone to doing things like that. And sometimes he'll get it and run 12 metres and bounce it 8 times. Needless stuff, and he's such a good player otherwise.
To Miller, the kick was good. He broke from Henschel. And this man, Gary, spotlight on Miller. down at the D's and what he can deliver for the club, centre-half forward.
Oh, he needs to kick this goal. That's what he has to deliver right now. Just a mistake from Burton and probably a mistake from Henschel, who expected Pickett to run a bit further with a footy before launching it and was caught unawares.
A beautiful kick by Carroll to draw him into that free.
Brad Miller, that's what's ahead of him. And the kick's away to the right. Things at the moment not going the D's way.
I think Nathan Carroll might have had a few nervous twitches there as the ball was hanging in the air.
Have a look at this. That's what Melbourne desperately needed. A turnover from full back.
Russell Robertson. As John Cock replays it in his mind.
That's just your shank.
Yep.
Oh, hang on. Gone back.
He's gone back to Johnston, and Johnston has kicked the goal. Is it a 9-pointer? Wait on the umpire. They're conferring, I think it is.
All clear, super goal.
Super goal.
Can it get any better? Any more value? The NEC Versa P80-100. Awesome performance made possible by Intel Centrino mobile technology and an Intel Pentium M processor. With 256 meg 3D video, DVD burner, fast 80 gig hard drive, 512 meg of RAM, internal subwoofer and 2-year warranty. This bargain's only $19.99. Try and find a better deal in Australia. Now at A&R, it just doesn't get any better.
Travis Johnston kicks Melbourne's first NAB super goal. And it was a well-constructed arrangement too from the D's. Kicked the ball backwards, freed up their long-range kicker. And a much-needed conversion. So we're back in the centre. White's there, Bigland's with him. Thompson slaps it out of the air. Jones then does a bit of air slapping himself. Again, a very hard physical contest. Reid did well. Davies' hands were terrific. Freed up Jones. 45 out. The finish needs to be good, and it is. D's kick a couple in a row.
Some people still sell computers and laptops that are plain old technology. But at A&R, you get more speed, more reliability, more value for your dollar. Like this beauty with plenty of oomph, CD and DVD burner, internet, windows and more for $8.99. As for laptops, yeah, we got them. What do you want? This Asus, fully decked out and great performance for an amazing $16.99 at A&R.
Travis Johnston kicks Melbourne's first NAB super goal. And it was a well-constructed arrangement too from the D's. Kicked the ball backwards, freed up their long-range kicker. And a much-needed conversion. So we're back in the centre. White's there, Bigland's with him. Thompson slaps it out of the air. Jones then does a bit of air slapping himself. Again, a very hard physical contest. Reid did well. Davies' hands were terrific. Freed up Jones. 45 out. The finish needs to be good, and it is. D's kick a couple in a row.
Well, that has breathed a bit of life back into the contest. Was in danger of blowing out. Just to set up at this centre bounce for the Demons, their forward line. Once they win possession, look how open it is. They got their forwards back. So that's Jones, young Chris Johnson behind him. Good to see him back on the ground. He came out of the centre. Importantly, they didn't run into anything because their setup was nice and open, and he was good enough to finish, the young fellow. He would have got a big buzz out of kicking his first goal at this level.
Margin 23 points.
There's the last super goal. Have a look at that one. Off about 3 paces. They're a little bit on the back foot. Adelaide, I don't think anyone on the ground thought it was going back there.
No.
Us included.
58-35. White over Biglands. Thumps it down towards half forward. Mattner was held without it. He'll get the free kick.
Thanks, Jono.
Byron Pickett's mighty relieved at the moment as Andy McLeod comes to the bench.
McGregor gives it to Shirley. Shirley, a little chip, needed to be precise, and he was. Riley spotted amongst 3 Demons. Right centre wing. Lead comes from Vince. That's ignored. Henschel moves to the pocket. Play-on's the call. Comes out very wide, and Jericho takes the tumbling mark. 75 metres from goal. Inside the forward 50, Henschel will fly from behind, forced to spoil. Perry does so much work across the goal front. Bow couldn't quite get there. Pickett left it behind. Bode battles on, doesn't quite know where it is. Goes through the legs of Johnson, comes off a stray leg. Well, the leg that was flung at the football, if you understand that. Davey comes across the ground and finds Johnston. And Johnston, the defensive side of the wing, goes towards half forward. And the mark is taken down there by Miller.
Miller. A more open forward structure here for the D's. Neat's hands were very good. Too far out to score. He's called to go. Got to unload it long. Robbo's got to conjure something here. He works his way to the front. Beautiful front and centre from Johnson. And the Demons get their third in a row.
Well, the thing about that is the decision by Neitz to go long didn't look great because Ben Hart had pushed back and it was a 3-on-1. All that Russell Robinson could do was get a contest in and win it to the front, and then it's up to someone else. On that occasion, it's Chris Johnson.
A wonderful result for the D's there, and make no mistake, Neil Danaher would be focusing on something about 15 to 20 seconds before. Dennis, you called it Byron Pickett's effort to run over the top of the ball and then keep going and just hope that somebody was going to pick up his mistake and get it to him. It was just an appalling bit of play from a player who has so much to offer and such a good knowledge of the game.
Credit the Demons, coming back strongly. Thompson under pressure, got boot to ball. Nicholson slaps it forward, taken by Bode, falling to the ground. Sylvia at close quarters, too hot for Whelan. Taken front on by Perry, got a hand pass away. With the right foot, Uze over the top. Marriage knocked it down. Chris Johnson left it behind. Van Berlo in trouble. The battle continues. Green, no real chance to clear it. Douglas did well, got it to Knights. Knights across the 50. Gathered though by Pickett. Releases Uze into space. Green is running further downfield. Uze controls the ball. Spots Green. But the kick holds him up. Comes back on his left side. Still a loose man. Comes to White. Now he's a long kick. White elects to honour the lead. Robertson pushed in the back. No free kick. Ball close to the boundary line. Massey's got it. Steps around a would-be tackler. Well, that's right. McGregor. A little chip around the boundary. Douglas is away.
Douglas looking very much like the man whose number he's wearing. Just a younger version of Mark Bickley. Gets it off to Burton. High ball forward. Bode. A marking forward at about 5'6". Couldn't take it. Gets back and does what he does best. Slaps in for the footy. He's claimed 30 out. Will have a bounce.
Well, Russell Robinson pleading his case for a push.
Dropped it before he got the push.
Not a bad case. If there'd been a tackler than Matthew Whelan going around in footy today, then I'd like to see him.
Well, Matner's not bad as a tackler.
You boys can argue it out as Sylvia picks it up and kicks it towards the line. He's not going to get there, though. Can be picked up by Matner comfortably. He goes to the man I said. Looks far too much like Mark Bickley for my liking. He's got it on the wing. To half forward nicely. So the Crows, another forward 50 entry here. Long from Vince and very nicely to Thompson. The young blokes look comfortable, Doom, in the Adelaide Crows jumper.
They do, don't they? They get great support. And I just feel over the last few minutes, Melbourne have made the most of their opportunities. But if you're Neil Craig down there, you think, right, we've got a buffer. Why don't we throw all that?
Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing.
You know that Metropolitan Plumbing can fix leaking taps, block drains and hot water heaters within the hour.
But there's no hot water!
Leaking hot water heaters can be replaced in all areas 7 days a week, and that includes Saturday and Sunday. And interest-free terms are available.
Metropolitan Plumbing.
He's kept it in play beautifully there, Scott Thompson. Good kick, maybe could have been top of the square. In the end, Jericho did all the work except mark it. Good enough to recover and get back on it, just to give the Crows a little bit more breathing space.
23 points worth, in fact, as we're back in the centre. J. Mar high, Marriage there with him. Belted into the ground, Sylvia. This man's been good, Riley. Apparently been very impressive over the summer for Adelaide. Gets it out to John Cock. He goes to Bode, who takes a very good mark and may have been legged. Local fans wanted 50. They're not going to get it.
Well, any contact after the mark these days is a 50-metre penalty.
High ball from Bode. Marking players required. Jericho almost landed in the hands of Thompson. He may have legged Johnston. I think he did.
But the Adelaide Crows have been dominant around the middle of the ground. Knights, Thompson, Let's have a look at this. Oh, accidental, you'd say. Riley, you mentioned Matner, McLeod, plenty of footy at the on the other side of the coin. This bloke, Travis Johnston, he's the key. He's just got to get his hands on it a bit more.
Gets it out to Adamuze. Marshalling the troops from the back. Normally uses the ball well. This is no exception. Nicholson snuck forward. Takes the mark in the end. The handball's no good. That's Douglas. Ducked ahead now. I think he may be in trouble. No, the umpire says he wants it.
Well, it's got to be smarter than that. Got to make every possession pay. Ellis Nicholson just turning it over there.
Marich knocked it straight down to Jones, delicately.
You notice with Marich, every time, it's the first time I've seen him in the flesh playing, he jumps into the ruck, he turns his back on his opponent and tries to hit it the direction from where he comes. He's pushed out. This time he won't be able to do it. At the centre bounce, that just seems to be his technique.
Loads of Douglas, gets it away. Kick comes high inside the 50 from Doughty. Big leap at the ball, falls in front to Carroll. Melbourne had plenty up there, intent on destruction. Whelan swings it out wide, taken by Green. One bounce, and his second carries him up towards the wing. Not much on offer. Pops it over to McDonald, comes back to Green. Normally a punishing kick. Goes looking for Robertson. He won't get to the contest, or will he? Bounced off his chest. He still goes. He flung himself after the football. Oh, brilliant pickup by Johncock. He breaks away. Back towards the wing goes his kick. And Vince goes up and marks overhead. Oh.
Inboard to the run of a couple. Riley, Edwards. Edwards, the forward handball was very nice. The finish needed here from Knights. It carried weakly. Inaccuracy cost him. And a behind.
Never balanced himself there, Knights. Needed some talk from the supporting players around him just to take the couple of extra steps.
Well, the first blues he's made, though, he's just about been the find, or the most impressive find of the NAB Cup to date, you'd think. Another very good night tonight.
14 possessions for him so far.
Wheatley kicks to himself. Last moments of the first half. I reckon, Gary, Melbourne might just be pretty pleased to get into the halftime break 20 points down. J-Mar goes to McDonald with a handball. He may have been claimed high. He'll take a free kick. He's got Pickett inboard. Can they conjure something in the dying seconds here that ease? Byron, big high drop punt to half forward. Johnston eased out of it by Hart. Neats at the back. They've got time here, the Demons. Neats can load up. Pulls the kick. Now the left foot high ball. Robertson, can he fly? Can something happen at ground level? Concedes by hand. They need to get the kick away. Jones, they're not going to do it. Half time. And Adelaide, a 24-point lead.
Well, they have been pretty dominant for the first half, the Crows. Melbourne enjoyed a period of about 10 minutes where they did score and start to score pretty freely. They started to win some of that ball around the middle of the ground, but see some opportunities to also go on begging for the Adelaide Crows. They could even have enjoyed a greater margin than the 24 points that they enjoy right now. David Neitz, the skipper, got to start to win a bit of the footy. They've got to find some more ball around the middle, but right now you'd say the Adelaide Crows are looking pretty good. 24 points to margin. We'll take a break. This is semi-final NAB Cup action, AFL on 9.
Over 75 years ago, the ideals of destiny, equality and humanity were united right here for the first time.
And now, in this magnificent arena, the tradition continues.
Yes! She's done it!
71 countries, 16 sports
and 12 magnificent days.
The 2006 Melbourne Commonwealth Games opening ceremony, 7 o'clock Wednesday, live on 9.
What makes Hungry Jack's Malibu Whopper the taste of summer? Big beef patty, bacon, barbecue sauce and pineapple. Hungry Jack's Malibu Whopper. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Buy any 6 or more bottles of wine at Woolworths Liquor and we'll offer you 20% off the lot. The amazing 20% off wine sale is on right now. So hurry in to Woolworths Liquor.
When bubbles of gas build up in your stomach, they can cause bloating and discomfort. As this demonstration shows, the active ingredient in D-gas can quickly settle the problem. D-gas, settle stomach wind.
Los Angeles from $2,199. Includes return airfare flying United Airlines, 4 nights and a 2-day Disneyland hopper ticket. Bonus! Buy onto your choice of one of 150 destinations in the USA from an extra $220.
Call 131-600.
Bit of extra cash here and there.
Who needs to know?
Centrelink needs to know.
Yeah, it's a bit naughty, but I'm smart enough not to get caught.
There are over 3 million cheques every year.
Come on, it's no big deal.
You will have to pay the money back. Most people do the right thing and avoid serious penalties by telling Centrelink when their circumstances change.
I'd like to report some changes to my details, please.
Support the system that supports you. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
What you need? Ha! What you want? Yeah. Do it. Yeah. Do it good. Do it right. Wow. Do it now. Come on. Wow. What you need today?
Imagine if everything you liked suddenly got even better. Introducing the new Mazda 6. Sporty looks, award-winning safety and handling, and to top it all off, a new 5-speed Active-Matic or 6-speed manual. The very new Mazda 6, now twice as good. No, make that 3 times.
Where will you find the world's greatest motorsport festival?
Not here, monsieur.
Here. The Clipsal 500 Adelaide, with 4 huge days of racing, over 10 hours of V8 supercar action, 8 race categories, and the best 4 nights of concerts ever assembled. Nothing beats seeing it live, so get your 4-day tickets, which include entry to all concerts, from just $125. Book at Bass.
A little bit of wolf mother there, Dermot. Half-time at Amy Stadium, semi-final of the NAB Cup, and it is 24 points the margin in favour of Adelaide. They have been the dominant side in this first half. Looked the likely side anyway up until half-time. Melbourne rallied in that second quarter at one period. Paul Johnson's got 2 goals. The Travis Johnston super goal brought them a little bit closer, but really Brett Burton has created all sorts of problems up there in the forward line. Andrew McLeod, he was sensational in that second quarter. Jericho also got 2 goals. They're very potent when they go forward, Derm, and in that first 15 minutes they were on fire. Luke Jericho and Brett Burton creating all sorts of drama.
Absolutely. Scotty Thompson as well for the Adelaide Crows in the middle has been getting right around the patch. Well, let's have a look at their goals in the first half. We mentioned Luke Jericho in the first quarter, leads out and just takes an errant kick on the chest. Pretty standard affair for him then, but he followed up later again. But then Brett Burton entered the fray and started to find the footy wherever he went. Just gets separated from his opponent. Pretty simple, standard snap for a lead footballer across the body.
But look, the important thing about these forwards for Adelaide, and I've said it all night, is their ability and willingness to crumb and work hard. That's just front and square here. Burton runs onto it and Jags run off the ground. They're very hard to match up because they've got great athleticism. Look at that. Perry just controls the ball to the front, and there in the right spot, Scotty Thompson.
Like, he would have felt like he was running around witches' hats then. That was just as slow as you can kick a league goal. And once again, a little chip backwards, forwards, closer to the goals, results in a shot at the goals for McLeod.
Well, Andrew McLeod was on fire. Then we saw Van Berlo get amongst it with Rhett Biglan's running onto it. Like, the big men contest the boundary throw and then work back to the goal square. They make it difficult for their opponents. That was a nudge out against Byron Pickett. Didn't allow Brett Burton to run at the footy. He goes back and slots through one of his 3 goals.
The interesting thing about all these goals for Adelaide, they've got a little bit of firepower up forward. Haven't seen a key forward take a mark in line of the goals, turn around and kick a goal. They're all running plays, and why wouldn't they? They're They've had 70 handball receives in the first half. They're running Melbourne off their legs. Once again, a big fly, crumbs his own mess and kicks a goal. No one big target kicking goals for them.
No, and that makes it hard for opposition sides as well. And Brett Burton is one of those players that is just such a difficult matchup. They tell us he's got a magnificent aerobic capacity, which allows him to play half forward, but really take his opponent up the ground, run back on, as we see in these highlights, get to the fore of the ball. If he goes to the goal square, you've got to have someone with the ability to really play tall, because you know how good he is up in the air.
Exactly. He's a little bit like the Andrew Embley syndrome in Perth, where if he does play up the field and he just momentarily changes go forward, the person who has the aerobic capacity, can they match him in the air, as you suggest? But look, he's a frustrating player because he can do everything. He can give you a screamer and then suddenly he'll come in and do this. Now, he was never going to get there. Even if he had spilt the ball, it's still a free kick. And he would have known that all the way through.
It's probably one of the best players on the ground in the first half, Brett Burton. Melbourne, well, they needed to get some goals on the board. Paul Johnson, they went tall. Dermot, you mentioned in the first quarter, they had Paul Johnson, they had Neitz, Robertson and Brad Miller. They had big targets down there, and that was just a magnificently weighted kick from Motlop from the boundary. Johnson good enough to get round the left foot and control this one through. He gets another free kick. The ruck contest just gets a gift from young Marriage there and was able to convert as well. But 2 goals as a resting tall was a pretty good result in a half a footy.
I'd imagine that one would be replayed by the Adelaide ruck coach during the week to young Ivan Marriage. But look, apart from those 2 shots at goal, which were very close, one good mark set up by somebody else's great play and a free kick, those 4 forwards we mentioned, Neitz, Miller, Paul Johnson and Robbo, really haven't fired a shot. Robbo sneaks in on the end of one here and palms off backwards.
That was an extraordinary piece of footy. In the end, it worked because they got the super goal and the 9 points. But, gee, they were taking some sort of a risk when they needed a goal. This was their best period of play. They won the footy out of the middle. Their forward line just opened up so that their midfield could run through that half-forward line. And young Nathan Jones scored a very good goal early in the piece. This one, Robertson won out against 3 and 4, got the ball to the ground. Chris Johnson got to the right spot. The crumb's so important.
He duped his opponent because normally you'd expect Robbo to go for the screamer, but he actually ran the semicircle around it and got to the front position to bring it down.
Perhaps learned some lessons from the Adelaide Crows opponents. Adamuze, different role. Spent, I would say, 75% of last season playing in the forward pocket. It came about because of a shoulder injury early in the piece, and he lost fitness, he said, as the year wore on. This year they started him at half-back, and he had responsibility for Tyson Edwards early in the game. Just keeps getting the footy. He's a very, very productive ball winner. Uses it really well, despite the fact that the right foot is there just to keep him balanced. He's never used that ever. But he's a creative type, and he's got to be someone that they look at.
14 possessions for him, 9 of them uncontested, so they're finding it in the back line, giving it to him rather than him stopping an opponent. The intention is for him to get it in the back line, set it up beautifully, try and get it to Travis Johnson, who will then pass it to one of those 4 key forwards we mentioned, and that's your avenue to goal.
I think his uncanny footy ability also dictates that he goes forward at some time. Goals are the hardest thing to get to, and we know that as old forward, so he'll have to push forward at some particular time.
Footy's hard to get to, Gus.
Practice matches all around the place. NAB Regional Cup matches they are. St Kilda went down by 11 points to the Western Bulldogs at Princess Park. Jan Syracuse got 3 goals for the Bulldogs. Scotty West racked up 27 touches for St Kilda. Fraser Gehrig and Robert Harvey got 3 goals. Lenny Hayes 30 possessions. Nick Del Sano 28. Nick Revolt's goal kicking over the summer was in focus. 5 behinds. 5 straight behinds, it must be said. So that's not a bad result for Nick.
Still not doing it right.
He's got to find the goals. There is another one. Essendon taking on Hawthorn midway through the 3rd quarter.
The Dirty Rotten Bombers.
The Bombers are up by 15 points just at the moment. But they are practice matches. This is NAB Cup semi-final at Amy Stadium right now. It's the Crows by 24 points. Back to the 3rd quarter action after this.
National 9 News Update, brought to you by the all-new Nissan Tida. It makes you feel really, really, really good inside.
Hello again. The AFL has reaffirmed its commitment to stamp out drugs following revelations that 15 players have tested positive. One footballer has offended twice, and Players President Peter Bell has admitted drugs might never be eradicated from the game. Both Port and the Crows say none of their players is involved. And the Redbacks have given themselves a hope of making the Pura Cup final, smashing New South Wales on day 1 at Adelaide Oval. Shane Dietz and Cameron Bogus made centuries, the latter unbeaten on 140. It'll be hot tomorrow, up to 37.
Local?
Yeah, we're local.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby. More.
The all-new Nissan Tita makes you feel really, really, really good inside.
XCOM education gave me the skills and the stepping stone I needed to start my new career in IT.
With their Express IT course, XCOM guarantees you a job in the IT industry within 4 months.
It's your future. It's your choice. Get a guaranteed job in IT like I did. It changed my life.
Call XCOM today, a leading Australian IT education provider. Register for a free information session on 13 46 48.
Rowan Jarman guarantees the lowest prices on football. Look, new season football boots, Reebok, Puma, Nike, Adidas and more. Save up to 35%, plus top brand balls and accessories in store now. Hurry, limited time, only at Rowan Jarman.
Bob Meister, wouldn't have a camp stove I could borrow, would ya?
350 kilo jockey wheel, only $19, save $10.99. Or a 600 amp jump starter, $39.99, save $10.
Everything auto, much more.
Hop, skip and triple jump into Mitre 10 for these gold medal prices.
Home Sentry entry doorknob set $9.95. Ryobi Mitre Saw $179. Bosch Impact Drill $89.
Mitre 10, all the help you need.
Healthcare is our biggest challenge and it can't be fixed overnight. But we're on the way. We've recruited over 1,300 extra nurses and more than 300 new doctors. And now we'll provide extra surgeons and even more nurses. There's still a long way to go, but with dedicated young people like these and with your support, we will get there.
Authorised by D. Feeney for the ALP Adelaide.
Buy any 6 or more bottles of wine at Woolworths Liquor and we'll offer you 20% off the lot. The amazing 20% off wine sale is on right now. So hurry in to Woolworths Liquor.
New CSI.
Want fries with that?
Then,
We're good to go.
new CSI Miami.
Looks like I got a twofer. It's indisputable.
2 of TV's best, all new and back to back. CSI Sunday on 9.
A little bit of NAB odds kick action at half-time. The boxer short under the footy short. Not the greatest look. A bit of Brayshaw about that boy running around there. That was some of your best work, Jim.
Oh, good-looking young man. I can see the resemblance, but I can't work out the trousers.
Not quite.
Have a look at him.
Not quite what we're after. As long as they're having fun, that's the main thing. The Adelaide Crows are having some fun right now. 24 points to margin. Melbourne have got to make a move. They've got to make a move early, boys, if they're going to reel in this Adelaide Crows outfit. They are too strong and professional if this gets out to beyond 5 goals in this third quarter.
On reflection of it, 24 points down for how dominant we assume that Adelaide have been. They're not too bad off. They've been playing like they're about an 8 goal to the worst team. It's not insurmountable 4 goals. That can be kicked very quickly. Or 3 super goals will get them in front.
That's right.
Ian Perry, they're going back to play on David Neitz. I reckon David Neitz would enjoy that fact because Rutten has had the better of him, or has Neitz gone the other way, boys? I'm just looking at that on the monitor. Maybe Neitz has gone back. In fact, he has, to play on Ian Perry, so that makes more sense.
He's trying to get him a bit of touch on the footy.
Third term in the semi-final of the NAB Cup, 41, trail 65. The Crows on top. In splendid pre-season form. White goes up, knocks it down, stolen by Thompson. Thompson floats it well inside the 50. Needs drop the mark. Perry gets the crumb, just standing there in front of him. And that is the start from hell, as far as Melbourne are concerned.
And right now, David Neitz is wishing that it was at the other end of the ground. The skipper's just got the confidence is probably just down a bit, and that is not going to help, Dermot.
Well, yeah, he suffers the indignity of getting hands to it and then giving it back. He palms it straight to. It's not as if he lets it fall out one side or out the back.
No, that is...
His volleyball set it up to him.
He did everything right.
What do you call that?
Spiked
it down to him.
That was a semi-spike, wasn't it? No, it was set.
Yeah, a set up. Yeah, he set it up to him. That's the spike.
That's the goal that Melbourne didn't need right now.
30 points. Standing his ground, Jamar. Big roundhouse right. Gets it to centre-half forward. Miller helps it on its way. Now we've got a wrapped-up ball. Centre-half forward.
Tackle, Marty. That's it. No holes, no
Bit
holes.
of a lull to proceedings as far as the crowd are concerned. Maybe they haven't worked their way out of the coterie groups as yet. Ball thumped high. Bode leads in the race. Bounce eludes him. Shirley comes through. Tumbles it inside the forward 50. Bounces in front of Jericho. Whelan's with him. Carroll went without it. Henschel's wrapped up by Gary's tackling man Whelan. Footy held to him. Ends up coming out. Carroll puts a very good tackle on Jericho. And the footy's wrapped up. We'll have a bounce.
Ball was pinned and the ball came free.
There you go with the explanation. Nathan Carroll, Dennis, comes from the Claremont area in Western Australia, and I can tell you, having lived there myself for a while, they don't all look like that from that part of the world.
I was going to say, it doesn't quite fit the image, does it?
No.
The western suburbs.
Free kick going Adelaide's way. And Goldspink, the umpire.
No, you got your back to the play. You can't be looking at the ball, and it's his free. You got to let him run.
It's against Maloney.
To the play.
You see that down the bottom of the screen there. Brent Maloney against Thompson. So you heard the explanation. Take your eyes off the footy and face the opponent and wrap him up. It's a free kick.
The front on shot of him then is a lot bigger at Adelaide. I know he's physically going to mature through age, but gee, he's got a good size on him since he's gone back to Adelaide.
Set shot kicking for goal tonight from both sides has not been great. And that's just snuck through for a behind.
He's had a couple of bad misses, Scotty Thompson. He's normally a pretty good converter, I would have thought. But just giving Melbourne half a sniff here. 31 points. They need the next goal.
Willing to bring it in. And what is a damn squib is that second football or third football and kick back in as soon as the score is registered and the goal umpire starts waving. I mean, it just doesn't happen, does it? Just watching Whelan then go and fox it.
This is, gee, they'll be lucky to get out of this, Melbourne.
Uze, close to the boundary line. Well, he took the pace off it with his chin to Jeff White, the most vulnerable part of him. Riley heads for the boundary line and/or Knights. It runs away from Knights and goes across. So a boundary throw in.
That's why I say they're lucky to get away with that. All their players were within 45 metres of the kicker then. And so Melbourne, Adelaide just crowded them down. And this is probably the best result they could get from that type of setup.
Boundary throw in. Reaching over the top. Marriage. Hand pass from Riley. Came forward to Edwards. 20 metres further afield. It's marked by Bode. 75 metres out from goal. Having a very good pre-season. Walks to the side, told to play on, kicks it back. That's ambitious now. The big fellow had a problem. Marriage. Gave it to Rutten, to McLeod, forward of the wing. Good kick, Perry. What a wonderful kick. Looked up, saw the movement, honoured the lead, and Perry didn't have to break stride.
And it just is a wonderful presenter, Ian Perry. You need a half-forward do it. Made the point early in the game that someone from Melbourne needed to be pushing up. This bloke does a lot of that grunt work, a lot of pushing up. He's better than just a grunter. He's got good footy ability, but gee, you love his work rate as a key forward.
Tough kick this one for him though. About 10 metres in from the line, if that. He sets it on its way. That is a wonderful effort. Terrific kick, Ian Perry. Starting this third term in grand style.
Radio Rentals will help you beat the heat and beat any price on air conditioning. Get your skates on and come and see all the big brands at Radio Rentals. Like LG, Electrolux, Kelvinator, Panasonic, Hitachi, Fujitsu and Mitsubishi. With a range of systems to suit any home. We're even big inducted. And with a cool 12, 24, 36, 48 or 60 months interest free at SA's biggest electrical retailer, you'd be mad to shop anywhere else.
Ian Perry's kick two. Adelaide have kicked away. 78 plays 41. Melbourne need to do something right now. Jones. Over it. Marriage. Back to Thompson. Good smother in the centre of the ground. Maloney overruns it. Keeps his feet very, very well. Now he's wrapped up in a strong tackle. And the ball's over the line.
Well, they need to start winning some footy at these situations. Adelaide have been superb around the stoppages. There are wins and clearances, and there are clearances, and they've been much cleaner. They get the first possession, then shoot one or two handballs out to someone running forward. Really puts pressure on opposition defences.
Ball thrown in. White, you sense, may have won that one. Riley taken out of the contest hard. White slaps the handball forward. Now they're a chance, the Demons. Johnston, handball to Maloney. Great persistence from Matner. Johnston goes back. His hands were terrific, but the underground handball didn't work. And over the line for another boundary throw-in, and the appreciation for Matner and his second effort.
Your man, Derm, is one of the good tacklers in the comp.
Oh, he's a wonderful tackler. He's just out of the tempo of the game. White at the moment, Maloney.
Wins it down. Shirley and Bate. Numbers now here for the Demons. Travis Johnston picks it up. Buys himself a bit of time and then steers the drop punt. Looking for Robertson. Too strong for him. At the back, Sylvia. Around the body with the kick. Miller stands his ground. Did he get a boot to it? Free kick.
Great defensive effort from Ben Rutten, wasn't it? Just to stand strong and not allow Miller to get anywhere near the ball.
Rutten quickly, straight up the middle. McLeod spots the opposition, decides it's Johnston, so he will run. Lays it off. McGregor, right half back. Kicks up towards the wing. Uze in front. Burton nudged him under the football. Interesting attempt to soccer it forward. Comes to Perry nevertheless. Kicks to right half forward. Jericho been lively on the forward line. He's got it about 70 metres out. Kicks for space. Reading it best down there was Carroll. Could have almost got a free kick. Falling to the ground. Digs it out to Neitz. Neitz on his defensive 50. Wide, close to the boundary line, but close to Riley as well. Riley looks back towards the middle with a 1 of 2. Knights plays on, runs around his teammate Van Berlo, kicks inside the 50. Robertson reduced to the role of a spoiler there, sliding in Bode, Massey, McLeod. John Cox set up under pressure, kept his head. Thompson on the 50, boot to ball, moved it a couple of metres. Shirley working hard. White, who's been handy in the last 10 minutes or so, spills across to Green. Now Johnston. Johnston at right half back, touches it down. Back to Bate. Van Berlo continues to work, but he's outnumbered. Bate goes the short one. Green takes the mark on the wing.
Sylvia's gone forward for Melbourne, trying to get something, trying to find a winning forward.
McDonald receives it from Green on the wing. Runs to half forward again, has to stop with the footy. Handball inboard to Davey. He's in all sorts of trouble. Left foot kicks okay. Centre half forward, Jamar gets the handball away. Melbourne still under considerable pressure. Johnson wide now to Green. A beautiful finisher as a rule. Left foot long ball going in the Robertson direction. Ball hit the post, so it's still alive. And Rutten can bring it away. Get it to John Cock. 40 out from his own goal. Steers it in the Perry direction. Again, he leads Neitz to the ball. This time the fish from the skipper was okay. Handball too hot for Perry. Bate went without it. Perry went back and got it. Jones missed it. Now can McLeod manufacture something? Yes, he can. Adelaide, though, without numbers in this part of the ground. And you fancy Melbourne's ability to get the footy at least into a stoppage situation. Henschel wrapped up. And there is no.
Great decision.
I have to say, there's the stoppage situation I was talking about, Durham, but it was holding the footy.
Yeah, he didn't have much of a prior opportunity, but he had some. And I reckon that's the way the game should be umpired.
Carroll got it from Uze. Penetrating kick inside the forward 50. Spills. Johnson keeps it in front. Good pickup by the big man. Now, how will they call this? It goes out of bounds, and the umpire is saying deliberate.
Second last time the ball went into the Adelaide back line, Melbourne forward line. As it went to Robertson at the goal square, there were 12 Adelaide players inside defensive 50.
They work back so hard so they can run it out like this.
McGregor.
And then they get explosiveness out of the likes of McLeod. We'll go past this.
Well, obviously he didn't go back. Burton just hanging out up ahead. There's McLeod. 75 metres out. Spots a vacant square. Goes long. Carroll gets back. Spilled it in the square. It trickles across the line.
Got a hammy, Carroll, I reckon?
Behind, he has. Or is it cramp?
Maybe cramp.
Wonderful running by McLeod. He came from inside that defensive 50 and ended up kicking to the goal square.
McDonald's handball was good to Bate. Left foot kick from that player. A kick in hope as much as anything. They need a half-forward target, the D's. Robertson's tackle very good on Rutten. And now we got a wrapped up ball.
Now that came from a fullback kick in. Clark was a player that was positioned across half back as a loose ruckman. That's how many, or the nature of getting their numbers back in the Melbourne forward line. So it's so hard to penetrate, but so effective for Adelaide.
Jones tries to get boot to ball. He's unable to do it. Boxes on, however. Lots of players around the footy here, so we're going to have it thrown into the air again. Yes, Carroll. What about that for a look?
And that'd suit you, James.
Built the mark, and then there we go with the cramp. I'm not sure if I'm capable of it, Derm. McLeod steps on through and then gets the handball. Beautifully done. Perry caught behind on this occasion, and there's the man we're discussing. Carroll takes an uncontested mark across half-back.
Short to Wuzo. Well, that went back. Now it's 50. Sideways, says the umpire. Was. It's a good point. It's hard to adjudicate sometimes, depending on your own position if you're the umpire.
We can work it out by the grass cuttings, though. Look, he's right on that line there. Oh, yeah. He went forward. Yeah, I'm with you, Dan. All the way, never down again.
I don't know where I stood on that turn, but it's nice to have you with me. Here's Massey. Back it comes to McGregor from half-back. Kicks towards the wing. Burton and Whelan. Runs loose at the back. Pickett. Well, he took his eye off the football, Pickett. Tries to soccer it forward eventually. Henschel's got it now.
Nothing forward.
Well, Henschel looked back over his shoulder, was dragged down. Darby taken down by Pickett. And is he holding the ball? No, he's not. We'll have a ball up.
Well, the reason he did, as we have a look at this one, back, forward or sideways, marginally forward, you'd say. The reason Henschel couldn't kick it, not one Adelaide player forward of centre-half forward, so he had to hold it up.
Clark and J-Mart. Jones, a willing worker at the foot of the ball. Taken to ground, it'll be thrown up.
Just really strangled any Melbourne forward foray. They've just been strangled, and conversely, when they do win it quickly, there's nothing there for Adelaide.
Pushed him out.
Free kick, and it's going Melbourne's way. J-Mart.
That last stat told a story too. Around the clearances, their work by hand, first rate.
High ball from McDonald. Not sure where it was directed. Van Berlo, simple chest mark, centre of Amy Stadium. Inside the 50. In the end, the kick was good, but Riley's marking attempt not as good.
Where was the down the field? Nothing
If not down the field, it was a push in the back, wasn't it? There's Robbo on the wing meantime. Hasn't seen much of it tonight.
Clark, the big ruckman, is loose, so now J-Mar goes down to give a contest.
That goes in their direction, the promoter's dream. Clarkie not the best marker in the world. Play on advantage. Motlop goes inside the 50. J-Mar was going to get a free kick back near the wing. Opportunity for Johncock, though, at the Crumming level. Gets it away towards McLeod. McLeod is running from half-back, short. Riley, so dangerous Adelaide in this situation on the rebound. They've got 2-on-1 down here. Perry just needs to get it on the deck. Bent's a little too slow. Perry goes again, surrounded by Melbourne players. Will bounce it through for a behind. Well, Melbourne just lacking the appetite at the moment. About 6 players competing with 2.
Great effort again from Perry. Watch, if we get another look at it, he's just willingness to win the footy down in front for that quality crumb. On that occasion, he did both. He won put the quality crumb there and then picked it up himself.
We're waiting on the kick in here. Now, already this is all wrong because it'll come out to this side of the ground and the next kick is already problematic for them. There's nothing on offer. They'll have to go super short. And again, the next one is their big problem. They're going to have to kick to a contest, and quite frankly, Adelaide are winning more of the one-on-one contests.
Johnston entrusted with that kick. It was a good one. Neitz had worked hard to get open. He has it. At half-back on the member side. Perfect night for playing footy here in Adelaide.
That's playing on.
Now he gets called to go. The skipper. He's got Pickett inboard if he wants him. Just sits the footy up high.
Sure.
Lots of players around it. Sylvia, one of them. Miller on the up to McDonald. Again, the fierce tackling from Adelaide. Miller goes back and gets it. Was he claimed high? Nothing. Coming from the man in green. Thompson can break. Has a bounce. Runs out of play.
Didn't have to bounce, Jones. That put him into all sorts. Took his eyes off the play ahead.
Lucky it did, because Adelaide had 2-on-1 over the back. If he had got away there, they were home again.
Dangerous times these for the Ds. McLeod's handball under pressure, very good to Bode. Kick in hope. Bouncing footy for Neitz. Well done, the skipper on that occasion. Put the big body in the road and then got the ball going Johnston's way. Boundary line looming. Johnston runs at it. I think he might have been claimed when he didn't have the footy. Travis Johnston.
You look up the ground and there's nothing there.
He's called to go. Handball inboard to McDonald. Half forward, 2 kicks from goal. Davey got a couple to beat in the air. They come at him from everywhere and Rutten ends up with it.
Lays it off to McGregor. 25 metres out from his own defensive goal. Swings it wide. Jericho. See, they run hard to present. Jericho's got this ball at right half back. I think if you were framing a market, you'd have them pretty tight, the Adelaide Crows, for the premiership already. There's Matner from half back. Short one. Bode lays it off McLeod. McLeod a penetrating kick and Perry just lurking behind. Well, appeared to be interfered with. Miller went back and pushed him as he was trying to mark. Taken by Uze. Here's Pickett.
And he's paid every time that free kick to Perry.
Not every time, Gary. As the ball goes down towards half forward, Davies got it. Slung by Rutten. Now Reed steps around Jericho. Smothered though off the boot by Rutten, who tracks it towards the boundary line. Kept it in. Brilliantly done. Prepared to gamble. And it paid a dividend. Jericho around the outer side, having to wait Burton. I think Uze relished that. Knocked it down in front. Pickett has it. Steps around Bode. Looks back towards the middle. Jeff White sets himself. Coming from behind. Vince did well to knock it away. Doughty flicks it up to McLeod. McLeod nimble towards the 50. Just inside the 50. Bode's taken the mark.
Won't go the journey.
Yeah. It would test him, certainly. But that's a lovely kick. Vision. And Thompson comes up against his old team to take the mark about 25 metres out.
What we were talking about before, when Melbourne kick the ball in, and every time they move it, they have to be so careful on their selection and then equally as careful on their delivery to find somebody. But Adelaide, when they get the ball anywhere in defence, it's just run, it's fluent, it's play on, they just break the lines.
Melbourne haven't scored in this term. Thompson, to add to their woes, comes in and kicks truly. Splits the middle. His second.
Sometimes, to get what you want, you need some words of experience. Which is where we come in. So what is it you want?
23 scoring shots to 8. And a big lead now for the home side, and Melbourne's woes at Amy Stadium continue. White to jump over the top.
High tackle, Melbourne.
Free kick. Reed's going to be the recipient of it for a high tackle, as you heard.
Well, that's the advantage of 2 umpires in the middle. They able to pick those free kicks up off the ball.
Motlop. Left foot ball. Robertson and Massey. Robertson worked his way back into the contest, couldn't take the mark, it's over the line.
Motlop's got to be smarter than that, because White was on for the hand pass. He's a long kick, but also you want to run him into confidence.
Yeah.
It was all upside, wasn't it? Give him the ball.
Yeah, it's a golden rule of league footy. If somebody's run hard enough and they call for it and they've got the vision of the play, you give it to them.
Just footballers all around this yellow Sharon. It's not getting out of there, so we'll have it thrown up.
A little bit of anger wouldn't go astray. If you're a Melbourne supporter sitting at home watching this, you'd like to see some sort of response. But Dermot made a very good point. They almost just took away any chance of Melbourne winning early by just jamming it up. And now, as you said, Jim, the floodgates might not be far away.
Thompson ran into a very hard tackle from Green. And the ball's going to be thrown up again.
Melbourne lost their structure.
Oh, hang on. What's Goldsmith down there? Oh, Darren Goldsmith.
Yeah, Neitz has gone back to full forward. Even though he was out of form, structure-wise, they just looked all at sea.
Byron Pickett, unable to take the mark. Ball slapped Van Berlo's way. Got Matner inboard, couldn't get the footy to him. Again, the numbers, though, with Adelaide. This player's impressive. Chris Knights.
Question for Dermot. Dermot, what'd you do if an umpire dropped the shoulder into you?
I reckon that's great. Just get out of my way. This is my turf.
Oh, yeah. Just flex the muscle in the man in green. Oh, look out. Here I am. No one can touch me.
In fairness to Sylvia, he wasn't to know that was the umpire, was he?
No, could have given him one.
Well, that's right, exactly. Wheatley.
That's
puts it to Wheeler. Now, what will the call be?
No doubt about that one.
Travis Johnson trudges off the ground now. Yep, flat hand palm through the behinds there. Now this is what let's see how Melbourne use it here. 3 minutes to go. The short's on offer with Uze.
48 points the margin.
Then.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you're an umpire or a man selling a lotto ticket. You put a hand on Dermot Brereton, good luck.
Exactly. It wasn't a hand technically, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
I reckon he's asking for trouble, big Goldie there.
White launches himself, but Perry with the judgment. At the back, claims the mark. Goes in short. Edwards can run to 50, decides to kick from 75 instead.
Option.
Long towards full forward. Over the side, Burton plays on. Hit the ground, running, goes in, gets the goal. That is like Evel Knievel going over Snake Canyon.
That is classic footy now. We'll get the replay and the replay and the replay of this. But so many people there, for junior players, they take the scream and fall on the ground. If you land on your feet, you're balanced. Balance, balance, balance. He's away. The pack falls by the wayside.
You mightn't win Mark of the Year, though, Derm. You've got to flip that up and land on your head, and then you walk off with the car.
They still count as a mark. Yeah, absolutely. Land on your feet, and you're never unbalanced.
He's been fantastic all night, Brett Burton, and that's an example of what he does. He pushes up the ground and then runs back hard with a fly to the footy.
He's come from outside 50, and that's that running capacity you were talking about, and this is his value. He can just go and go and go, and then he gets to that dangerous spot. No opponent, he's outrunning.
The Russian judge is trying to find 13 on his car.
Burton, big contributor, 4 goals, and the mark of the night comfortably. Starting to look very ugly now for the Demons. Thompson of Van Berlo. High inside the 50 goes that player. Thumped away from Perry.
Prams, look at him. Prams.
Bode back on the right. Sets it going goalwards. I think Carroll might have just got a touch on it.
Well, he gave to Steve Silvani. I touched it then.
Just a whisker.
Perry again now. I tell you, Perry's taken 5 marks. He has, but his ability. Let's see this. Oh, gee, just a fingernail if it was a touch.
Well, Krusty Bode looked like Johnny Lydon then on screen when he was screaming and yelling.
Goal umpire looked at him and said, "Oh, if you say it's touched, Trent, I'm going to say it's touched."
Here's Sylvia. Short of half back, wants to go. Drives it long to the wing. Johnson outmanoeuvred by the first game of Douglas. Likely customer goes across the ground. Burton in a triangulation of 5, but Pickett just went at him and gave up the soft free.
Am I alone in thinking that Byron is, for league standards, dreadfully unfit?
Not flattering the red on Byron, I don't think.
He only gives 15-metre efforts, and then it's, I'll pick you up on the way next time.
Here's Perry kicking inside the 50. Bode, well, one way or the other, it could have been a free. Bode wheeling down. Green comes away, kicks it towards the wing. John Cock and Davey, this will be interesting. Clever again by Burton, over the shoulder. Quicksilver, John Cock kicks down towards the pocket. Was that a push? Doesn't matter. Henschel outnumbered, in trouble. Ball just drops out of there. Carroll hits for the line. That's got to be deliberate. And it is.
Trent hit. Trent!
Hang on.
Trent! Over here and kick it.
I think what he's saying is you make me look bad.
Over here and kick it.
Yeah. He was the man on the spot there, Henschel. Battling against a few. And Carroll just heading straight for the boundary line.
Blowing hard too, Trent Henschel.
Big work rate again. That's what you love in these Adelaide forwards.
Mail on Adelaide is that they're cut like a park statue at the minute. They have absolutely mown the work into them in the off-season. High, Henschel. Not a bad effort from there. Good fish from White. Deliberate. Gets it through for a behind.
Now that's the plus as far as Melbourne are concerned, is it not? Jeff White just starting to find it a bit.
Running around, I haven't given him all game time, but he's just really, he's finding his feet out there. He's one who's just come on with very little footy. and starting to find a bit of form out there.
So what's the story, Gary? I mean, he's still got several plates and screws in his face.
I believe so, Dennis. It was an extraordinary number, something up like 12 or 14 screws and plates.
I was just thinking the other day, he is a conservative guy, isn't he? I'm sure he must get embarrassed when he goes through airport security in a place like Cucaracha. The ball goes towards the outer side. Off hands taken by Bo. Just slips it away. Edwards. Have they got time for another score? Riley, 52 metres out. Now he can kick it a fair way. Wants to go. Kicks from 55. Turns the defence around and just misses to the right-hand side. The behind. All Adelaide in that term. So much so Melbourne failed to score. Remarkable term, Adelaide dominating. They got the early goals thanks to Perry. Neats going back in defence, but his nightmare continued. And then that spectacular mark, about 5 minutes from three-quarter time, taken by Burton, who's booted 4 goals tonight. Brett Burton having a terrific night. Jeff White, perhaps the silver lining for Melbourne, but there isn't much. 98-41, three-quarter time, the semi-final of this NAB Cup competition.
This sports update brought to you by the good guys. Pay less, pay cash.
Hello, I'm Leith Mulligan. Scans have cleared Jana Pittman of a hamstring injury, but tightness kept her out of last night's lead-up run, sending a scare through the Australian camp. The AFL has reaffirmed its commitment to stamp out drugs after revelations 15 players have tested positive. And Jeff Ogilvie scores an albatross and a share of the lead at the latest PGA Tour event. Have a good night.
The Good Guys congratulate Australia's craziest sports fan as voted by you. This is the winning entry. And the lucky winner will receive a Philips 106cm widescreen plasma TV worth $4,999. And congratulations to the other winners of the just-released Kodak dual lens 5-megapixel digital cameras valued at $699. The Good Guys, supporting Australia's craziest sports fans. The Good Guys, pay less, pay cash.
Race into Woolworths during our Go for Gold promotion and you could drive away in one of 6 Toyota Kluger CVs valued at over $44,000. Now that's gold. Woolworths, proudly supporting the Australian Commonwealth Games team's drive for gold.
Dance. Some things you just shouldn't bet on. This guy bet Coopers they couldn't make a great lager. Dumb bet. New Coopers Lager.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Thousands of dollars of bedding will be sold to half price. Carpet and rugs will be sold to half price. Furniture will be sold to half price. This Saturday only. Look on you. Look for the special tags. Look on you.
Seems to me that all the little ways that I...
Why wait for breakfast when you can enjoy delicious new thick-cut sourdough, apple and cinnamon, and banana and date toast from McDonald's? Come and see what's new at breakfast and feed your inner child.
Toyota's Top Options event ends tomorrow. Saturday at your Metro Toyota dealer, get all the top options at entry-level prices. New Corolla Ascent, top options, only $21,880 drive away. New Camry Sportivo with sports appeal. Top options at $29,880 drive away. Plus over 1,000 used cars, every four-wheel drive, sedan, coupe, sports, three-door, no exceptions. Saturday's the final day. Top options mega event only at your Metro Toyota dealer.
kicks the highest number of goals also wins the right to host that final. This still becomes a very big quarter of footy for Adelaide. For Melbourne, not having scored in that third quarter, well, there's a little bit of pride on the line too, one would have thought. The major goal scorers for the Crows, Brett Burton, he has been sensational. 4 goals. Ian Perry, Thompson, Jericho, 2 apiece. Rick Bigland's got 1, and Andrew McLeod, the super goal. And for the Demons, Travis Johnson and a super goal, probably the only exciting thing to happen so far for them.
Got to go back to 1989, the last time any silverware tumbled in for Melbourne. You were part of that pre-season cup win, Gareth?
No need to dwell on the past, Jim. Let's look forward. But yes, I was.
Just wondering if you held the silverware, or was there someone else at the helm of the D's at that stage?
You or Sugar? No, it wasn't me. It was, in fact,
Greg Healy?
It would have been Sugar Healy. You'd be watching this evening back there in Melbourne.
Very nice.
But enough of that reminiscing. Greater things ahead for Demon supporters, although it doesn't look that way at the minute. Peter Curran down on the boundary with Tony Jones.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Peter. Well, look, I suppose it gets to a stage where the game is out of your reach. Do you start resting some of the bigger known players?
Oh, no, we've got to go out and win 1 quarter of footy. It's as simple as that. We've been smashed around the ball, haven't been able to get our hands on it. And, yeah, certainly we go now and try and create something positive with our group, get them to get their hands on the footy and try and take some risks. Rather than go in our shell, let's take some risks and hopefully get some form up.
All right, well, good luck. Thanks.
Well, as disappointing as Melbourne have been, you couldn't be more impressed with Adelaide Crows. They are the real deal, and as one of you learned gentlemen suggested, premiership betting might just take a bit of a hiding some stage in the next few weeks.
Well, Dennis, that was Dennis's call. They've got great balance. They're playing well. Their on-ballers are as fit as can be, and their blend of youth and their spine. Absolutely.
Well, let's see how they run at home. A big lead at 3/4 time for the home side. 57 points. Marriage high. This is where the problems have started and ended for Melbourne. Again, a clearance for Adelaide. High from Riley. Mark spilled. Burton's already kicked 4. Can this be number 5? It's tumbling the wrong way. Thompson comes back hard on the ball, unable to get a boot to it. And to behind. Starts the scoring in the final term.
Clearance, you're dead right. Around the ball, they have been absolutely superior. Don't forget there's a couple of blokes called Rashuto and Goodwin that are just going to squeeze their way into this outfit.
Whitley straight down the middle to a one-out contest, and White in front. Strong mark, plays on Debate. Forced wide. Jones hand passes down towards half forward. They'll work it forward. Jones runs on. Kicks well inside the 50, and the mark is taken down there by Miller. Johnson also getting a hand pass on the outer side. Sorry, Dale.
If nothing else, Jones is quick thinking for a young boy. The possession before that, when he speared the ball forward, recognising on a momentary glimpse a teammate forward ahead, and he hit the deck with the ball. He almost went under the armpits of the Adelaide player.
Here's Miller. They haven't scored since half-time. Now they have, albeit just a behind.
Right, you agree. He's very solid to him. He's a super fit young man.
That's such quick thinking.
It'd be do worse than to leave him on the ball and let him run for the quarter here and just get him a taste of the footy.
I mean, he must be so ready for it now. Was he playing his 2nd or 3rd game of so-called league footy? And he's played him in the middle predominantly for the evening.
John Cock goes in search of Rutten and finds him. Look away handball. Adelaide down the outer side. This player has played well tonight, Jericho.
Always someone to kick to. Always a presenting forward, James, which has been impressive.
Perry works back with Neitz. This time, the skipper does very nicely for Melbourne. Outpoints his direct opponent, takes a simple mark and goes across the ground. Uze finds himself in some space. Over the top. Sylvia, who played so well last week, has it now. Gets it to Green. Green to Carroll. In all sorts of trouble. That's incorrect disposal. Holding the footy. Call it whatever you like. Dermott's man, Matner, has put the clamper hold on him. Over the top he goes, and this is nice too for Henschel. All sorts of space to move. Has a bounce. It's got Bode on long. Got Perry on short. Henschel is a very, very talented young man, and that was a nice kick.
I would just about vote Nathan Carroll Melbourne's best player tonight. But as good as he has been, and Nathan Jones, as quick as his thinking is is as slow as his thinking was then. Now, that's not his fault. That's what you're born with. That's your gift. He's been fantastic with his efforts, but you don't want him being the creative player running with the ball forward of the centre.
Perry, set shot, beautiful. That is very good. He's got 3 in the second half.
Sometimes, to get what you want, you need some words of experience. Which is where we come in. So what is it you want?
Don't quite know how to explain this. That cat is on the ground. It's moving towards the wing. TJ, any news?
You would not believe this. Security has come from everywhere. There's a woman looking very worried on a walkie-talkie. There it goes. Now, actually, if that was a greyhound, you'd put money on that. That is superb.
Well, I know the Demons aren't going that well, but playing like cats, Dermot, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure whether somebody's brought it here and let it go. If it's just a stray, if it's something that lives in the alleys around Amy Stadium.
Oh, Dermot, that's a very well
It's
fed.
got no collar.
Well-fed moggy, that thing.
It's got no collar. Gee. No, I reckon he knows every back street here. Look, he's going to try and go down a hole here.
Jim, what would Richard Attenborough do about now? What would...
Wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, didn't you? That bloke's just ducked his coat on it.
No, he's done well.
Oh,
he's done all right.
Oh, geez, put the sleeper hold on it.
No, that's all right. Has it got a collar?
He's got the...
He's ready for a bit of parachuting.
Oh, this is
a little guy. He's finding that difficult.
Look at his tongue poking out, the poor thing. No such thing as a poor
If any cats are watching, they won't come onto the ground next week, Derm. TJ?
Actually, I was just thinking it's not unlike Dermot coming back into the hotel at about 3 in the morning.
By the scruff of the neck.
Play restarts meantime after that interlude. Here's a chance for Riley. He's taken down by White. Knights, Shirley, clever hand pass. Matner inside the centre square, goes towards half forward. Missed by Johnson, Chris Johnson. He fell over. Bo just waited. Eventually it came to him. Knights arches the back, slips away just outside the 50. Long down towards full forward. Henschel goes back. Carroll step for step, and he knocked it across the line. Now Carroll, as Dermot said, has done a pretty good job because Henschel 3 goals last week, 6 the week before. He's been in form.
I mean, his negating skills are fantastic. He's not going to set the ball up like Trav Johnson, but his effort has been splendid.
Bate. High down the line. That's a good mark. Sylvia.
Been quieter tonight than he was last week, but he is going to be a player this point.
Goes with the drop punt. Robertson launches himself. Matner at ground level. Thumps the handball Perry's way. His pick up and give was terrific.
Oh, look at them.
Massey now streaming down the ground. McLeod just got that ability to cover ground so beautifully. Gets it to Shirley. Shirley, very nice positioning. Mark taken by Vince. He's claimed from behind and now is tripped. An opponent who's going to take the free kick, and that's Bate.
Yeah, they look like a swarm of bumblebees coming through the middle of the ground. There were 6 of them all running parallel to each other.
So you'd reckon on the rebound Melbourne would have numbers, but this is how hard the Crows work. They push back to cover, and now they're held up on centre wing.
Sylvia on the wing. 106 plays 42. Coming in, it looked an even contest. It's in a fizzer. Green thought about going, comes back on his left side. Probing kick well inside the forward 50. Going back, almost held down there by Marich. Charging in McGregor. Johnson reaches in. Marich found himself with a football. Davey, John Cock. John Cock has been the master in that situation. Somehow got through. Gave it to McLeod, to Thompson. And again, Adelaide are breaking. The kick comes towards half forward. Came from Riley. In fact, Burton comes beyond half forward. He's almost marked this one on the wing.
Nothing on offer. It's got to wait. You see all these players are leading away from him.
Burton high.
Great kick.
Yeah, that's a plan that they play to, Doom, and it's hard to defend if you're all on the same page. Defenders running back following a man is a hard thing to turn around and then get a spoil on.
Well, Byron comes off and they might take him in and run him on the treadmill for a bit.
Thompson took the mark inside the 50, so it's not a super goal attempt. He's called to go, though. Drop punt will land in the square. Henschel. Big climb at the back. Dangerous bouncing ball. Seen through in the end by Uze for a behind. It might be branded a rush behind, is it?
He's given that rush.
So 3 points added to the Adelaide total. And this lead now starting to get, if not embarrassing, imposing.
Well, it's been very, very soft since half-time.
Johnston sits it up high, gets it to bait. Couple of nicknames spring to mind. Derm, Spider being one of them. Through the centre.
And the other.
Just a left foot ball inside the forward 50, Gary, but still directed. And Massey takes a very nice mark.
Now, while it's in the back line there, John Cock just on the bottom of the screen. You pointed him out a second ago, Dennis. He's been superb tonight. His efforts and negating tactics have been very good against Aaron Davey, who is in form.
McLeod got it from Edwards, who in turn got it from Knights. Down towards the 50. Going back, Jericho was in front. Johnston flew from behind, and the ball spills across the boundary line.
There would be very few players in the league. Well, I don't think anyone's going to have the nimbleness of Aaron Davey, but Graham Johncock just has that uncanny ability to step the same direction.
Johnston to Uze, Melbourne's two most talented players. Whelan, barely 15. Whelan, hard against the boundary line, hugs that boundary line. Clever kick. Wheatley.
That's it.
Wants some movement inside. Now he spots a runner. Johnston, who initiated this, pushes up and takes the mark inside the centre square. Too few, doing too much. Travis Johnston looking towards half forward. Runs beyond the wing now. A couple of bounces. Settles. Pulls it back towards the attacking 50, but straight to Johncock as if he were the leading forward.
Lots of options when they've got the football, the Crows. Tyson Edwards. Nicely directed. Half volley pickup was terrific from Vince. Into the centre of the ground. Perry, who's probably been the most effective forward on the ground tonight. Handball over the top. Vince has run on. He comes around the body to the other man who'll perhaps be arguing that claim, and that's Brett Burton.
Yes, would be the challenger. But again, the way that footy was moved, and we got the advantage of looking over the whole ground, constant movement all over the forward line. So the Melbourne defenders don't know where to go. They don't know where the footy's going to go. And you spoke about Vince. He pushes up. Jericho pushes up. Perry's a great presenter. And this bloke, Burton, well, no one can go with him.
This for goal number 5. The Tony Hall pocket Derm. For fans of State of Origin footy back in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's a very tough place to kick a goal from, and Brett Burton was unable to do it.
I'm tipping Tony isn't watching the footy tonight. It's down in Torquay these days, in Victoria. He might be.
Why wouldn't he be?
What are you suggesting? He's got better things to do, Dermot?
Very attractive girlfriend. I think he'd be out with her.
They may both be watching the footy, Derm, although it hasn't hit the
You make a great point there, Garfield.
Thank you.
We'll go with that.
Whelan to Carroll. Lays it off. Knows his role. Gave it to Uze. Jamar sweeps it inside. Taken by Green. Green's high ball inside the forward 50. Ferguson was up, hands to it, couldn't hang on. First back there was McGregor, gave it to Rutten, back to McGregor quickly. As a result, he fumbled, falling to the ground, did well. Van Berlo, a hand pass across to Edwards, one bounce. Drew Davey, virtually unsighted tonight, so brilliant last week and the week before. This is Doughty around the outer side. Goes down towards half forward. Back peddling is Thompson. What a clever mark. Plays on. Kicks towards full forward. Jericho favoured by the kick. Will get a free.
Well, it's an interesting one because we might have a listen.
Paid. No, the umpire is just marking his runner.
Eyes off there. Eyes on it there. I would have thought that's a pretty reasonable spoiling attempt.
Good claims on that one, no doubt whatsoever. He actually watched where the opponent was, but then watched the footy when it was incoming.
I would have thought that was textbook, actually.
Entitled to have a look to see where he is, so you don't impede it. And then he turned around and had eyes on the footy.
Lining up for his third, Luke Jericho.
That's the bottom line, isn't it? Jericho comes in and kicks the goal. 6 points. 116 plays 42.
Standard broadband not fast enough? You need A&R's ADSL2 Plus broadband. Up to 50 times faster than standard broadband. and up to 400 times faster than dial-up internet. No dial-up cost. Don't tie up your phone line. No setup fee. Get a free modem for less than $1.40 a day. A huge 5 gig limit. And our ADSL 2 Plus broadband. Internet that's smoking.
Concerns for that man. What does he do about this hoodoo at Amy Stadium, Gary? It's Elm Street for the Melbourne Footy Club.
Enormously disappointing. Tonight especially, I know, James, they came over with high expectation. They've come up against a better outfit, better prepared, but they're not giving a yelp. But they scored 1 point since half-time.
They can't yelp with them, Gary, because they just can't run with them.
Clark goes long, and that is a big grab from Jericho.
That's that explosiveness. Blokes who are quick tend to have a great leap as well because of that explosiveness in their legs.
Outside the 50. Drop punt on the way. Not going to get there. Fist away from Burton. Well done by Bode to keep it in. The ball's still alive. Carroll off the ground. Good pickup. Into the hands of Reid. And Melbourne can regroup across half-back. Uze will end up with it.
Just forward of left half-back. Kicks beyond the wing. Miller left it behind. All Crows back there. Matner to Rutten.
Chase him.
Good talk. Constructive talk. You could hear it from here. Around the boundary line. Burton takes the mark.
Well, they've just been the masters all over the ground.
So much to like about the Crows. Here's Riley. Disappointing night for the Demons. Long kick towards full forward, and the mark is taken by Vince.
Just to rub a bit of salt into the wounds. He goes down and takes a contested mark. There's Jericho's big leap just on the forward 50.
Always dangerous, isn't it, when you get a first-year player like Bate in a one-out contest against somebody who's probably taken about 10 overhead marks in his league career, but it's just dangerous when you've got a first-year player.
Another one. Put it on the pile. And Vince kicks the goal for the Crows.
Rowan Jarman guarantees the lowest prices on football. Look, new season football boots, Reebok, Puma, Nike, Adidas and more. Save up to 35%, plus top brand balls and accessories in store now. Hurry, limited time, only at Rowan Jarman.
Right now at Super Cheap Auto, you could win a boot full of loot. Spend $20 or more for your chance to win 50 grand. Plus instant super cash prizes. Terms and conditions apply. See in store for details.
Everything auto, much more.
Melbourne.
We're not advocating that either.
In all sorts of trouble at Amy Stadium. 80 points down now to a side that is white hot. Clark with Hudson down, his career rejuvenated. Matner picks the ball up, gets it off to Edwards. The handball very good to John Cock.
He's been super.
Bode up to meet the ball. Stripped of it by Johnson, but Bode battled on nicely. Davey hasn't been a big night for him. J-Mar to Uze. Uze, good kick. And Miller takes the mark.
Inside, it's
out in front of Rutten.
Only 3 kicks for the night. 6 handballs though. 10th possession.
That's a good kick.
Well done.
Nicely worked situation there. And Robertson, who has kicked one, that was in the first term, can take a shot on goal. As you heard the umpire say, you got 30 seconds. So he's officially on the clock. Russell.
And just on that one with Miller, he's symptomatic of Melbourne tonight. He hasn't had it in the wing tank. He hasn't got enough fitness to lead up the ground, which is his game.
Set shots have been ordinary. That is a big miss.
James, make no mistake, this has now got the potential to do some damage to Melbourne. Now, we know it's NAB Cup, but hey, they came in saying we want to win this, we want to get to the grand final, and they look like walking home, tail between their legs on the end of an 80-point plus hiding. Now that is not a good result at all.
Just one behind in the second half. Riley to the wing. Perry almost 50. The market's pay.
No 50 there.
I think so.
Neil Danaher's paid Nathan Carroll a compliment. He's let him come off and have a rest, I think. He's been very good tonight.
Bent's leading back in the race after Perry's kick. Pulls it back towards the kick-off line. J-Mar stood his ground and did it well. Johnston breaks for him. Wheatley's got it. Johnston, the next link in the chain, perhaps. That makes it difficult. It bounces out of bounds in front of him. Davey comes off.
In all seriousness, James, answering your question about Melbourne's inability to play here, the vastness of this ground, Melbourne have some capable midfielders, but unless they're all at full capacity fitness, they can't cover the same ground that Adelaide do, and they win enough hardball, they get into space, and they get a lot more uncontested possession in the middle of the ground, and they just chop up Melbourne because they're a lot fitter with their midfield players. They have to get some, I'm talking about like a Licuria type player, somebody with really good endurance to get in there and be a staple for them in there.
Neitz remains rusty as Johnston tried to get him the ball. Jamar from behind knocked it down. There's Douglas.
Tried to get it to Reid. Matner came crashing through. Edwards the look away. Pickett's hands were good. Johnston around the body. That's a clever kick. Sylvia's got it. Runs on from about 50 metres out. He has brought it around the body, but not far enough. And that's Melbourne's third behind to the second half. That's all their scoring done for that whole period. The quick kick on this occasion, Dennis worked well, and John Cock was able to pick it up and steer it to Burton on the wing.
Goals important here, boys. The most goals host the grand final. Don't forget that.
Massey. High ball. Holding on Vince. Bate had a grip on him.
How could you hold your arms? Adam, I'm trying to get around his holding them there. Well, how did they get them in the first place? Oh, we were trying to go around him. Well, how did your arms get to around him in the first place?
Question and answer.
Coming into this game, Adelaide had 27 goals. They've got 15 on the board now for a total of 42. Fremantle, 34 goals so far. Geelong, 26.
Young Matthew Bate there, I reckon give him 3 or 4 more years in the comp and he might have a different response to the ump when he gets spoken to like that. That's the goal for Vince. Got his second in a row.
Radio Rentals will help you beat the heat and beat any price on air conditioning. Get your skates on and come and see all the big brands at Radio Rentals. Like LG, Electrolux, Kelvinator, Panasonic, Hitachi, Fujitsu and Mitsubishi. With a range of systems to suit any home. We're even big inducted. And with a cool 12, 24, 36, 48 or 60 months interest free at SA's biggest electrical retailer, you'd be mad to shop anywhere else.
He copped it verbatim. 128 to 44. Bounce over the head of Jamar. Had to wait. Did well. Knocked it down. Riley. It's all one-way traffic. Riley out of the middle. Swings it wide. Jericho leads in the race. Carries the ball towards the 50. Socket away by Whelan. The critique coming from Dermott. Late in the game. They're on top. But even so, he's got it now. Hand passes some 15 metres to Shirley, close to the boundary line. Was that 15? Apparently so. Mark was paid. Riley comes across the ground. Play on's the call. There goes Knights loading up for a super goal. He got one last week. This one is out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, I just want to see the kid be the player he deserves to be. And every time he approaches the footy, he's got to make it right. He's got to cement a position in this team.
Got to stop you there, Derm. Some breaking news. Tony?
Yeah, thanks very much, Dennis. Well, fortunately, the management here at Amy Stadium have the foresight to have a cage out the back for feral animals. And we can report that the cat that we saw earlier is now in custody.
I would have thought they would have been human size. Those cages.
Right.
All right, well, you can leave on your own, Derm.
That's right.
Just repeating, 44 goals, Adelaide. They are currently 10 goals ahead of Fremantle and some 18 goals ahead of Geelong. So they need to bang 1 or 2 on in the next couple of minutes, you'd think.
Well, Robert Shirley can do that right now from 45 out. Slide angle. Certainly got the penetration. Ball still in play. Miller. Wheatley. Uze. All combined to get it out of there. Jones, the handball. This is Bate now. That's a good kick. Neitz, again, just not quite the touch from him. Although, to be fair, the ball was at his feet. Pushed in the back, Van Berlo. He'll take the free on the wing. So 2 minutes for Adelaide to add to the goal tally. Really all that's left in the game from their point of view. They've got this game scunned. Van Berlo. Long ball. And a pretty simple mark in the end for Nicholson.
Inside 50s since half-time. Adelaide 31, Melbourne 15. Probably didn't need to be told that. Here's Neitz. Just watch. He had a fair idea. As Neitz goes across the ground. Rutten comes hard, but not in time. Here's Bate. He's on the wing. We're inside the last 2 minutes. Blessedly so for the Demons. They came with high hopes. Bate, high kick inside the 50. Well, nobody showed much judgment there. Ferguson, good effort. Green missed the soccer attempt, goes again. John Cock, who's been unstoppable down there, and he launches attacks from back there. Gets it in short to Rutten, who looks towards midfield. Shirley breaks hard, takes the mark. Looks for a runner, but I suppose they've slacked off and eased off just a little bit now.
Well, not much, Dennis. That's another impressive thing. I reckon they've run super hard from start to go, this Adelaide side.
Yep. Probably the last couple of minutes. He was looking for somebody instinctively, wasn't he? And there just wasn't the runner alongside. But Edwards has got the ball now.
Might have been his cat, let's be honest.
Tyson.
Oh, great kick. Good
That
spot.
is a very good kick.
Now this bloke can kick.
And Matner on the right side of the ground for a left footer. Certainly range, no problem, Dermot.
Oh, it's a beautiful kick of the footy. What's staggering, for an 84-point margin, now this is going to sound strange, it probably should be more, considering Melbourne have only been inside their forward 50 35 times. That's just about a couple of year low in terms of league footy.
Bedrock.
Marty Matner on the left. Starts it out.
Post.
Left, it's hit the post, it's still in. Jericho or Vince. The snap away to the left.
They're just out rebounding them too, aren't they?
Yes, they are too. Yeah, Dennis Rodman.
You're across the basketball.
Well, I am now, yeah. Rebounding. Johnston straight up the middle to Bate at centre half back, and he takes the mark. So almost siren time. We're down to 8 seconds. Adelaide, first team through to the grand final.
There's enough to see in Bate to like what he's done so far. He's off.
Well, it's a good thing too. Adelaide need the money. 129 to 44 as Adelaide give a powerhouse performance at Amy Stadium, and they crush Melbourne. Had some players out. Gary made the point before, some stars missing in their midfield. Rashudo along with Goodwin. They're 2 top midfielders possibly now. McLeod just behind them. And there's a man who really has turned things around. 22 wins from 34 games in the regular season. Neil Craig. We were talking earlier, James, to Chris McDermott. And he was saying how much the players respect this man and how they like him so much. And that, I think, comes out in the way they play their footy. Everybody is prepared to work. It's not about personal glory. They're getting the job done as we go down to Tony Jones.
Thanks very much for that, Dennis. Well, Brett, just a terrific effort there tonight and almost effortless.
Yeah, no, it certainly wasn't effortless. It was a good win by the boys. Obviously, we set ourselves to this game where we had a young group in, and we really want to leave the perception with, I guess, the rest of the teams in AFL. It doesn't matter. We got blokes out. We still want to put a good effort on the board, and the boys did that today.
The coach, seemed a little bit nonchalant about the whole thing through the week, but you guys were certainly men on missions tonight.
Oh, certainly. I mean, we said all along in the NAB Cup that we won't risk players with injury, but when we step onto the park, we want nothing less than a win, and that's always been our attitude.
And you're in a grand final. It's pretty exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. Look, it's really good. Obviously, it's only a NAB Cup grand final. It's not the end of the premiership season, but what it does give is a chance for the younger blokes to have a chance to feel that pressure, and it'll be good for the club.
Well, they don't call you the Birdman for nothing, and in the third quarter you showed us why.
Yeah, it was good. Look, I'm just enjoying going up forward and a little bit of a different role. I've been in the midfield for a while, and obviously when we got that much ball coming in, it certainly helps you.
And have you ever had a game stopped by a runaway cat?
Yeah, no, certainly not. That was a different one. Never seen that before, but something a bit different, I suppose.
All right, good on you, mate. Enjoy the win.
Thanks, Tony.
Brett Burton just about best on ground down there with the golden smile of Channel 9 football. Tony Jones, pretty impressive man, Brett Burton, Dermot.
Oh, look, he's a super player. When he's up and running, he's very difficult to match up against. You've got the endurance of a midfielder and the hands above his head. Third string forward, such a difficult matchup.
Also acknowledged, Gary, that it's about entertainment this game, and he's going to take a few speckies.
Well, let's hope so, because that was one of the standout features of tonight, his ability to get to the contest. Started beautifully. They won a lot of footy at ground level, crumbed and worked hard, and then when the chance was there, he took one of those big hangers. But right across the board, that was super impressive. as impressive as Melbourne were disappointing, you'd have to say, because there wasn't much, let's face it, after half-time, not much resistance.
What about Andrew McLeod? He just looks like he's covering the ground, Dermot, as well as ever. His use of the footy sensational. I mean, that is a great thing for Adelaide Crows fans to see a guy.
Just cruised into mid-20 possessions. John Cock was superb. And the other bloke who's got under everybody's guard again tonight, and he was, I thought, equal second best on ground, was Scotty Thompson. Super game.
Well, they probably had the first best 15 players on the ground, and that is why they've won by 85 points, and the Adelaide Crows are through to the NAB Cup Grand Final.
Coming up, a foster family get their prayers answered. All new backyard blitz, Ultimate Kids Garden next on 9.
Suzuki's next generation Grand Vitara. The Suzuki Grand Vitara. From $39.90, it takes you where you want to go.
The headline said, Libs to axe 4,000 public sector jobs. Jobs like park rangers, school services officers, correctional officers, ward clerks, pay clerks, and thousands more. Imagine our community without them. We'll all be worse off.
Authorised by Jan McMahon for the Public Service Association, Adelaide.
This long weekend, get any sofa, get any leather, and get 15% off. Get any home theatre lounge suite, get any recliner or sofa bed. You'll even get 15% off any special custom-made order. We've got 15% off everything at
The Sofa Shop.
Your deli choices roll, ma'am.
Daydreaming is a great way to fill in time while we freshly make your deli choices roll at McDonald's.
Hey, Sandy, check this out. I've just got a... Oh, the new home hardware dogger log. That's the big one. Yeah, well, yeah, it's not only big, that is massive. I've seen catalogues, but I've never... No, it's the big one sale. Yeah, well, I knew that. I'm just saying the catalogues. Mate, have a look at these. Makita angle grinder and sander twin pack, $149. Home tape measure, only $9.95. Yeah. Plumworks 35mm sink mixer, just $35.95. Yeah. They've got a massive range of products at tiny little prices. That's funny, though, isn't it? What's that? Well, the way they call it the big one sale, but the prices aren't actually big, they're quite small. It's a paradox. Yeah, well, then why don't they just call it the paradox sale? Well, how about the paradox sale? Eh? Oh, yeah. Now that's a big idea. Where? Home hardware.
Bit of extra cash here and there. Who needs to know?
Centrelink needs to know.
Yeah, it's a bit naughty, but I'm smart enough not to get caught.
There are over 3 million cheques every year.
Come on, it's no big deal.
You will have to pay the money back. Most people do the right thing and avoid serious penalties by telling Centrelink when their circumstances change.
I'd like to report some changes to my details, please.
Support the system that supports you. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
You'd be amazed at the car you can buy for under $10,000 this Saturday.
Exactly.
All these cars under $10,000.
Under 10 grand. Under 10 grand. Under 10 grand. Under 10 grand. Absolutely.
788, 788, 8888.
And all these under 10 grand?
Absolutely.
Oh.
8888, 9888, 9888, 9888. Jarvis Ford Jeps Cross. 1 day only.
Saturday only.
Before the games begin.
Oh, I think I can take these girls.
Very determined.
And I'm going on there to win.
Be quick on the buzzer.
I think Duncan Armstrong thinks he's a bit of an intellect.
Temptation, Monday, 7 o'clock on 9.
The home of the Commonwealth Games. This is Channel 9.
Look at Brett Burton there, 4 6-pointers. Ian Perry 3 along with Jericho as a floating forward. Andy McLeod 24 possessions and 1 super goal as well as one of the regulars. Scotty Thompson was superb as well. And young Vince sneaked in for a couple late.
For the Demons, Paul Johnson got 2 early ones. Travis a super goal. Jones, Robertson and Johnson.
Pride of South Australia, where the mighty Adelaide grow. We're courageous, stronger, faster, and respected by our whole. Admiration of the nation, a determination show. We're the pride of South Australia, where the mighty Adelaide grows.
Got some unfinished business, Doom. We have, as have the Adelaide Crows. They are through, as we said, to the grand final. And one man who was, he turned the clock back about 10 years. He loves grand finals, got 2 Norm Smith medals. His name's Andrew McLeod. He's down in the rooms with Tony Jones.
Andrew, congratulations on what was, just an outstanding night out, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, as talked about during the week that, we got a lot of blokes out and opportunity for the younger guys to stand up and really put themselves on show, and they did that tonight, and it was great work.
Neil said through the week that if it was round 1 of the season proper, then you'd got guys like Goodwin, Bock would probably play. What's your gut feeling about the grand final?
Well, after that, they'll be struggling for a spot, but no, it just shows that we've got some. We really know that our depth is up to is up there with the best of the depths in the competition. So it just has that extra added bonus of having those blokes back on the side.
And can you compare where you are now to where you were this time last year?
Oh, well, probably chalk and cheese comparing us to this time last year. We couldn't get a win last year, but we certainly come a long way in 12 months, and we're still learning the way that Craigie wants us to play, the style of play, and we're just trying to just keep getting better and better at that. So I think probably about 20% better than we were last year.
All right, now it's late at night, so we can be a bit blue. Tell us about the boots.
Yeah, no, they're just the new Adidas tunics that are coming out. So get on them.
All right, well, I'll take your word for it. I don't know if I'll be pouncing around in them myself, but they obviously work for you. So well done, Andrew.
No, thanks a lot, Tony. Cheers, mate.
Good on you, mate.
TJ just sorted out his footwear, the kids' footwear for the rest of the year with the Adidas boots there, but they were a very nice pair and they're on pretty fair feet.
Oh, absolutely. He can wear whatever he wants. Ian Perry, well, by the end of the game, he was up and running, and I thought he actually was a bit of a slow starter. Carroll covered him a little bit. He chopped up his first opponent, but he just kept working and working.
And I agree, even though he was a slow starter, just a great lesson for any kid out there that's playing footy. As a forward, your effectiveness is not necessarily tied to your stats. As long as you can contest and compete, control the footy in your area, it gives opportunity to other players. One thing that should not be forgotten, the progression of Ian Perry when he was playing alongside Wayne Carey. I thought that was the biggest improvement in his career. The improvement he made in those 2 years was phenomenal. And his kicking improved as well. I think he is part of a very formidable Adelaide Crow lineup, particularly forward of the centre. It's going to take them a long way. It's taken them into the NAB Cup Grand Final. Their coach would be pretty pleased, Neil Craig, and he's with Tony Jones.
He's very pleased, Gary, I can tell you that much, but I'm sure Neil will tell us for himself. You said pre-match and you were pretty emphatic about it. You were here to win and true to your word.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Tony, we've said that all along in terms of our policy about not taking risks, but quite clearly we've been treating the Cup very, very seriously. So whoever gets selected, it's important that they play to win. And, the guys tonight were fantastic.
Neil, Dermot Burton, congratulations on making a grand final.
Thanks, Dermot.
Now, if you were to actually rate them out of 100 in terms of full season fitness, where would the Adelaide Crows lie right now?
Dermot, we've trained really hard over the Christmas break. We finished 1 week before the grand final, but we've really poured the work into them. And even the week when we played Hawthorn last week, we had a big week on the track. So our guys, from a physical conditioning point of view, Dermot, we can't do any more work with them. It's now just making sure that we manage them properly and make sure they get plenty of rest and recovery, I guess.
So noticeable tonight, the fitness of that midfield that you were on the ensemble out there. Their ability to push back, Gary was highlighting, but then on the outflow to run with the ball, the handball receives was excellent.
Yeah, most clubs I think are now sort of demanding that of their midfielders, and it is physically demanding to do that both ways. And as I said, that's one of the reasons that we've put a lot of conditioning work into our guys over the break, because if that's the style of footy you want, and we don't want necessarily flood, but we need to get people back quickly and then come forward again. You've got to be in good shape to do it.
Neil, well done and congratulations. I was, as an old forward, I guess I watched them more closely. I was just super impressed with the work rate, seen them 2 weeks in a row now. Very selfless, no focus on one name, but a very hard lot to contain collectively.
Yeah, Gary, it's an interesting observation. I'm glad you've observed that. David Noble has done a lot of work with those guys, and I think the key word there was selfless. But in the end, everyone gets a share of it. So our guys have worked really hard, not just on presenting and leading, that sort of thing, but they're very strong on a defensive action to put pressure on there. So it's a big tick for that zone of the ground for sure.
I thought they were great. And Goodwin and Rashuto sat out tonight. You reckon they'd be a chance in your best 22? Will they come back for the grand final?
I don't think Mark will, Gary. He's still probably at least a couple of weeks away, and we just need to make sure that he gets himself right and not try to. I mean, Mark doesn't need to play at his age sore early in the year. He needs to make sure he gets himself right, and we'll do that. Simon Goodwin. I mean, if we're playing for 4 points, Simon would have played tonight, so he'd be a real chance for next week.
Neil, I'm quite sure if you matched up Graham Johncock against Aaron Davey and told them to sprint to the finish line, I think Aaron Davey might finish in front. But that pure pace off the mark and lateral movement of Graham Johncock, he played a superb game tonight and covered Davey with those quick leads.
Yeah, no, that was probably Graham's best game for the pre-season so far. He looked really sharp, and as you said, I mean, they're both super quick players, and you'd sort of sit all night and watch both those guys play, so it was a good contest.
You would indeed, and we've enjoyed watching your team play over the last couple of weeks. Neil, congratulations once again, and good luck next week for the grand final.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Dermot.
Neil Craig, coach of the Adelaide Crows, and he has had a big impact on that football club in a very short period of time.
He's much more relaxed after the game. He's a man on a mission going to it.
He could even have had some role in the Commonwealth Games. He's such a learned gentleman, of course, with his experience in the cycling, but the 2006 Commonwealth Games coming up on Channel 9, of course, kicks off Wednesday, March the 15th, 7:30pm, countdown to the games. Big build-up, and then the opening ceremony live at 8:30, Dermot. It is going to be an absolute sporting spectacular and a feast of which you want to dine out on over the next couple of weeks. It is going to be superb. But for now, we say goodnight from Amy Stadium. We look forward to the Commonwealth Games and look forward to having your company when the season opens. Good night.
Nine's Wide World of Sports.